everybody.
We're live!
We're live. Happy Sunday. Hope all is well.
If you're in the UK, hopefully you're enjoying a nice Sunday roast.
And it says that we have an excellent connection, but now it's kind of like giving us some weird stuff. So let us know if we're having any issues. We are live from a hotel, and so we're on the hotel Wi-Fi. And Derek doesn't even have a chair. He's sitting on like a stool, which is why he looks so short.
I'm just a little man.
But we're here and we're doing it. So hope everybody's doing well today. Good morning, Laura from Musings at Midlife. Good morning, Ronnie Dove. He says, morning, all nice Texas weather. Wearing my Italian national team pants. Nice. Aaron Austin, hello. And Mary Ellen Dillon, hello to you as well. I know I said hi really quick a couple minutes ago before we started. Aaron, welcome. I don't know if you're new to the channel, to our live streams, but I don't believe I've seen your name here before, so just wanted to give you a quick shout out and welcome to anybody else who's new too, because we have a lot of new faces on this channel over the past few weeks, which we are super excited about. Derek and I go live every Sunday for the rest of for the rest of 2020.
Wouldn't it be nice if we were in 2021?
I know.
We
used to go live on Thursday nights, but then we went to the UK, and our original time was at like 2 a.m. UK time. So we changed it to Sundays for the rest of 2020. Yeah. And now we get to talk to you guys at the end of each week about what we've done over the past week here in the UK, where we're at. And I think today is extra special because Derek and I said that we were going to chat a little bit about what we've seen now that we've stayed at 2 AirBNBs and 2 hotels in the UK in 2020 and like what the differences have been. So.
Yeah. And I apologize in advance that my hair is not up to snuff. Usually I got
Derek.
some product in it. I decided to let it be free today. It's doing a little thing here.
Okay, let's do a quick poll. Should Derek get his hair cut in the next week?
I've got bangs, guys.
So like, oh dear God, no, stop. That looks so bad. Oh my gosh. You're ruining it. Anyway,
Don't take a screenshot of that one.
So Derek, I feel like should get a haircut, and here's why. There have been a lot of lockdowns here in the UK, and last time the UK went into lockdown, the absolute like last things to open were haircut places. So basically, I just saw Kim's note to you. Yeah,
No
everyone's
bangs.
voting no bangs. I got bangs.
What'd you do in Europe? Got bangs.
I got bangs. Anyway, so I'm just super concerned that, well, obviously we're concerned for a lot of reasons that there might become more and more lockdowns closer and closer to where we are. But also that the lockdowns are a little bit different than what we experienced in Chicago, where certain things open, before others, or close before others, or longer. So, yeah. Anyway,
People are saying not to get my hair cut, though. Aaron says your hair is fine, avoid unnecessary risk. And Mary Ellen Darren says, yes, don't chance a lockdown, Derek, unless you're going to let Eliz cut your hair.
Yeah, don't do that. That's crazy.
I don't want to let her do it, no. Now with these flowing locks.
And like on top of that, the only scissors that we have are like those tiny little travel scissors that are for like cutting like hangnails. Can you imagine giving Derek a haircut with those? Man, that would
take a while.
That would be a 2020 moment.
That would be
for sure.
That would be a weekend.
Yeah, I'd have to cut like 3 hairs at a time. Anyway, so I'm voting Derek gets a haircut here. But we'll see. Maybe the poll says otherwise.
we shall see. We shall see.
So just so everybody knows, we are in Exeter in the UK.
Which is on the River Ex.
Yeah, nailed it. And so that is in the county of Devon, which is in the southwest part, but not quite Cornwall. We were in Cornwall all week.
It's the county that butts right up to Cornwall.
Yeah.
Cornwall, then Devon.
So
Dorset.
if you guys tuned in to our last live stream, we were streaming from our Airbnb in Cornwall, and now we are in a
Airport hotel.
Well, yeah. Although it's a really nice airport hotel, it had really high reviews. And the airport's only like
nice.
10 minutes outside of the city, so we booked this one because we wanted a comfortable bed.
It does look a little sketch though driving here.
Oh
it's
my
like
gosh, yeah.
it's like down like streets that don't make any sense. You're like, am I in the countryside? I'm at an airport. Am I by like an abandoned industrial park? It gets kind of,
Okay,
especially at night.
Here's the
it's
dealio
not
with
great.
this airport. For those of you who have not heard of the airline Flybe, it's like a low-cost,
European provider.
yeah, like UK-based airline. And right at the beginning of the pandemic, Flybe, I guess, had already kind of been in trouble a little bit. And they basically filed for, I think it's called like RRs or something like that. And it's like they like
Whoa.
going out of business.
Those have never happened.
Oh my gosh.
Eric B.
Eric B. Travel Adventures with Eric B. says the means team. Thank you so much. That's our first super chat. Oh my gosh.
I didn't know we could get those.
We need to do like a big thing, like a round of applause super chat thing every time we get those. Our first one.
The wave.
Yeah, the wave. We'll do the wave every time somebody gives us a super chat.
No
Mark
matter how
our
small.
Words.
Really, guys, I just need the exercise of like going up and down personally.
Oh, I'm so embarrassed. That's hysterical. Anyway, thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. We appreciate you. You've been like a fan of the channel for so long, and we finally monetized. So thank you so much for being our first super chat. That is, you are awesome. Anyway.
Oh, and Megan Morris was the one who said, it's so nice to see ads on the channel now, which is.
Oh, thanks, Megan. And Megan's been like the biggest proponent of getting us monetized. She has been like our major fan, shouting us out on all these different channels and stuff. So thank you to Megan too for all of your support. I'm gonna circle back really quick and finish about Flybe. So Flybe is based or was based here in Exeter. So they went out of business. So this airport's pretty dead right now, not only because of the pandemic, but because of this particular airline not really running right now. So we're next to Flybe's flight school at this hotel, and it's like completely empty. So it's a little bit sad, but at least we've gotten a really good hotel rate. We are paying £59 a night for this hotel. It includes free breakfast. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Anywho, so let's go backwards because we've had a lot of people say hi, including the Gallivanting Gals, which we were just on their Sunday Snippets live stream a little bit ago. I was kind of getting all of our equipment and my makeup on and stuff like that all ready for this. So I popped on for a little bit, but I was listening for a lot of the time. And Derek said hi too, and we had a really good time just hearing what all of the new news is and chatting about travel.
Yep.
And then
on their live stream.
Yep. Roger Sexton. So we answered, and hello, welcome.
Exeter.
So we're in Exeter. There's a reason why we're in Exeter.
Home of a great cathedral.
So we did not plan to come here.
We tripped and fell into Exeter.
We kind of did. So on our way to Cornwall, we stopped for lunch in Exeter at a really, really good tapas place. And it was actually, it was, for being one of the only options that we had, because we were eating kind of a late lunch, the tapas were delicious. And so I must have been in such a food trance of how delicious they were that I left my gimbal and my Bluetooth selfie stick at...
the gimbal is not cheap. So
no, not cheap. Over $100.
Yeah, it's one of those products though that we don't use super often. So we didn't actually realize until a couple days later that we didn't have it. All of a sudden we're like, where is it?
Right, and then we had no idea where it was, and so we kept backing up each restaurant we had been to since. Yeah. Lots of fun. So, long story short. I called a few restaurants in St. Ives. I called just a few different places around Cornwall. And we're like, oh my gosh, None of those have it. Did I leave it in Exeter like days ago?
Yeah, so, but they had it, and they confirmed, and they said they'd hold on to it for us. So we're like, crap, we've got to go back.
And so, just, I wanted to piggyback. I'm not the person that leaves things places in this relationship usually. It is usually Derek.
Way to put me on blast there.
I'm blasting.
Okay.
I'm blasting Derek out on this one. Like, more often than not, if one of us leaves something somewhere, it is Derek. And so, Derek has this amazing luck, though, of every time he's left something, like at an airport or whatever, somehow he gets it back. Whereas, like, every time I lose something or leave something somewhere, I just don't, it's gone. And so, when we got to the point where we had to call the restaurant in Exeter, I was like, Derek, do you mind making this call? Because I really need a little bit of Derek good luck juju on this. Because it's been a while, and I feel like you're more likely to have them say yes than me. So Derek calls them, I think, like, gets a hold right away, and they're like, yeah, we have it. And I was like, yay, Derek, good luck, juju.
But it was one of those things where I didn't know how to describe what I was looking for to the guy, because the guy's Spanish.
Yeah.
English is not his first language, and so I was like, it's like a bag, it's kind of oblong. He's like, has a staff in it? I'm like, close enough. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, so we found it, and it's all good.
Yeah.
But that did lead to our most unfortunate day of travel that we've had, which was...
So we had to go back. We had to go back to Exeter to get this. So that's why we're here. But I'm going to have Derek now jump in and tell the story of our really yucky travel day that we had as a result of all of this.
So... it's not really Exeter's fault. It's my fault. I started the bad luck that day because the night before I made reservations for what I thought was Thursday to go to Tintagel Castle or Tintagel or Tintagle or whatever you want to call it.
When you see our vlog from that day,
I think
call it
something different every
version.
time. But it's a castle. It's supposedly the legendary birthplace of King Arthur. It's stunning. It's a really cool place. So we end up booking tickets, driving the hour and a half from our AirBNB to that castle, wait in line, get all the way up to the front. I give them my number, and they say, ooh, your tickets are for tomorrow. And I was like, oh no. And they're like, and we're sold out today, so we can't let you in. So I was like, oh no, we just drove an hour and a half for nothing. So then we started thinking, we're like, okay, well, we've got to go to Exeter at some point to pick up the gimbal, so let's go now. We'll save the time so we can do Tintagel tomorrow.
Like, it was kind of like on the way to Exeter, sort of. It really isn't, but like, it's closer than driving the opposite direction.
So we're like, all right, fine. So we go to Exeter, and we decide that we're going to mail in our ballots, because we'd mail in ballots since we're in Europe right now for the election. And we go into the post office to mail in the ballots. And while we're in the post office, we actually see the dude from the restaurant.
Like the chef.
The guy who has our gimbal.
Yeah.
And we're like, that's weird. Huh. I bet he's going to go right back to the restaurant after this. Let's go to the restaurant and let's go pick up the gimbal.
And mind you, Exeter is not a small town.
No, it's a big town.
Population of like 22,000 people.
No, it's way bigger than that.
No, I'm sorry. Population of 117,000 people.
Yeah, it's pretty big. So we're like, that was a weird coincidence that we just ran into him. But we didn't have a chance to say hi to him and be like, hey, we need our gimbal. So then we go to the restaurant and it's just closed. I guess they had decided to like take the afternoon off, so it had shut down, and we're like, crap, we just drove an extra hour out of our way to come to Exeter to get the gimbal. Now we can't even get the gimbal. This has been a hell of a day. So we ended up...
I want to interject. The post office, because we went there to overnight our ballots to America, and the post office said because of the pandemic that they've stopped all expedited shipping to the U.S. The only option is like normal.
So we're like,
okay.
Fingers crossed it gets there.
Yeah.
Now, in other news though, it was very affordable.
It was.
It was super cheap. So I'm like, I don't know if these are gonna get there.
Definitely not.
But,
anyway, so then, so post office didn't get the ballots to get mailed in time. Then we go to the Spanish restaurant. Spanish restaurant's closed, and so then we're like, this day has been just the most epic. I'm sitting there like, usually I can get like a little bit like of like anxiety for stuff like that, and I think I was in this weird like trance of like, how does this just keep happening throughout the day, where I was like numb to it, and I'm like, I think this is really testing us today.
Well, and then I was like, well, then I had to drive the hour and a half back to our Airbnb, so then I was, it was just a lot of driving for a day that ended up having a lot of kind of.
And then you had a work call at the end of it.
And then I had a work call that I had to get back for. So I was just like, this kind of sucks. But it was fine. The next day we redeemed it all. We went to Tintagel, walked around, gorgeous, totally worth seeing. I can see why it's like one of the most like gone to things in Cornwall. It was awesome.
And it's also like one of the top castles to visit in England.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, like it earns that title for sure. It's just beautiful,
stunning vistas.
If you go,
lots of steps.
Obviously, book in advance. Make sure you have the right day.
As you should do with everything.
Number 2, and we'll be posting our travel video about this eventually. But we actually grabbed lunch on the way there, and we stopped at Tesco, and I got like a to-go sandwich and stuff, and Derek got a pasty in the town of Tintagel. And then
yummy.
when we went down towards the castle, they have picnic tables there after you've already pretty much entered the grounds.
Yep.
And those picnic tables kind of like overlook a lot of the beautiful spots.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So, hot tip: bring your lunch and enjoy your views.
Yeah.
And then another thing too is the bathrooms are at the very end. Like, you cannot use the bathroom at all until the absolute end of the thing, and it's a one-way system, so you can't like reverse it just because you have to go.
This is why we have a motto, which is see a toilet, use a toilet.
Yeah.
And thank goodness, because otherwise we would have had to walk all the way down the hill, use the restrooms, then walk all the way back up to enter the castle. And once you go into the castle, it's not like you walk through and you're done 10 minutes type of thing. It's you spend a good hour, 2 hours inside the castle grounds and like walking around where like there would have been a medieval village and all this stuff and seeing all these things. So
this is the like
it takes a while.
Assumed birthplace of King Arthur. So there's just a lot of cool history, regardless of whether King Arthur existed at this place.
Yep.
So yeah, that was a redemption moment of we had a great time at the castle.
Yep.
Anyway, let's say hi
Megan
to everybody.
Morris,
Okay.
Hola from Playa del Carmen. So cool to see ads on the channel now.
Hola, Megan. I
Have
hope you have a
fun.
drink too then. I know it's early, but I mean, it's Mexico, so cheers.
And Erin is saying, yes, I'm new, and thank you. I'm excited to live for some vicarious travel and chat.
Great.
Nice.
Well, you are in luck because we have not put out a, well, first of all, these live streams are the best, but also, we have not put out a new travel vlog in a little bit of time, and I just finished our London one this morning.
Yes.
So, the London one's going up this week. It's like 19 minutes long.
It's a long one. We did a lot.
Yeah.
We did a lot.
So hopefully you guys really like it because we're going to be posting it as long as, the Wi-Fi can handle it.
Well, here it can, so maybe you want to upload that tonight. So
yeah, I might try to do that.
Alan A., hello, sir.
Hi, Dad. And then the gals are here.
Thank you. Roxanne Budd. Hi there. Been watching you too.
Hi, Roxanne.
From following Walter's World and Jocelyn. Love to hear how things are going for you. They're in the UK. I would love to do what you two are doing. Thank you. And
yay, we're so glad that you found us through Walter's World. We've had tons of new faces from that interview and all of our interactions with the awesome Walters family. Yep. And Mark, we're glad to have you.
Mark was enjoying that bubbly wine yesterday.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We were on his live stream yesterday. That was fun.
Seemed like he had a lot of mimosas. It looked awesome.
But yes, so we are doing well here in the UK for the most part. We still happen to be, only traveling through the tier 1 places, which is the lowest tier lockdown areas within the UK. Everywhere is technically in like tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. So, and that's within England. Scotland created a 5-tier system this week, right? They launched it this week? I feel like that's new.
5 tiers, yeah.
Wales is currently in a 2-week full countrywide lockdown that I believe is like a circuit breaker lockdown.
Yep.
And I think Northern Ireland is the same as Wales.
Yeah, Northern Ireland, I think, is under lockdown currently.
Yeah, maybe. So we just happen to be, we lucked out, essentially.
Yep.
We were traveling through places that have lower COVID numbers, and honestly, that was because we want to do that.
So we kind of chose that.
Yeah, and so we've only been in places so far that are in the tier 1 England lockdown.
Yeah. But that said, we are moving up to Bristol soon. That's where we're actually heading to tomorrow is Bristol, where we're going to do some like Cotswolds, Bath, Bristol obviously, before heading up and doing like 8 days up in the Lake District. So we'll be heading up there soon, doing some hiking, trying to avoid the towns and cities as much as possible. And, then it's kind of a question mark. We don't know what we're doing after that. I'm kind of rooting for Scotland after that because their 5-tier system, I think, might give us a little bit more freedom if we go up there because the Highlands have super low counts currently. So wouldn't mind making it up there, and we could still do the NC 500, which would be pretty neat. So we can be end-to-enders and whatnot from a driving perspective. Yes, because we went
to Land's End this
past
week.
Yeah, which was cool.
Yeah, so end-to-enders is when you go from Land's End in England, which is like the southwesternmost tip of the UK, or not but like Great Britain, to the northernmost tip of Great Britain, which is John O'Groats in Scotland.
Scotland. Yep. Hello, Paul Tipton.
Hey, Paul.
Musings at Midlife.
Lauren's
Julia
here.
Dagnese.
Hi, Julia. Welcome.
What is up? Galvin and gals, we have to say we love these travel communities and how nice it is that we can bounce from one love to another on Sunday mornings. It's like a cocktail party with all of our travel friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Cheers.
It is. Cheers to everybody. And if you're having coffee, then cheers as well.
Gallivanting.
By the way, just so everybody knows, it's only 3:23 here in Britain right now because we had the daylight savings time here kick in a week earlier than it does in the UK. So Derek and I, got some extra sleep last night, which was killer. But that
didn't go to sleep till like 1 a.m., so it doesn't really matter. That doesn't count quite, but yeah.
But yeah, so what was funny was I feel like because this hotel offers free breakfast, like there was all these families that were up early, kind of like we were, getting the free breakfast, and we were like, what's everybody doing here so early? And it's like, whoa, we all just got a lot of good sleep, so.
Okay, so Travel Adventures with Eric B says, got to create a super chat something special thing. I don't know what that means, but we'll have to look into it.
I think it means our wave.
Is that a wave?
The wave that we did.
Or is there like a thing that you then get if you do a super chat that you have to create?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. This is all brand new to us, Eric B.
If we start a community membership thing, I know that we can give out badges and stuff.
Oh yeah, we can't do that yet because you need to have 10,000 to do that.
I need to do some research. I believe we might be able 50, to start doing something like that.
We don't know.
We haven't looked into it. We've been focused. So between all of the traveling, I've been really trying to zero in on specific things that everybody likes the most with the work time that I do. So I've been really trying to get out the travel vlogs because so many people have been requesting the next ones, and rightfully so. So we've
taped a lot of them.
We've taped so many, and we're incredibly behind. But the London one took I don't know, what would you guess? I started working on it 2 days of...
Yeah, it's been 2 days of work.
Yeah.
Day and a half.
Yeah. So...
Take some time.
We're getting there. That'll get uploaded soon.
Yeah. Also, real quick, because we have another one. We do...
Laura!
Wait for it. We're bad at the wave. I'm sorry, Laura.
Oh my gosh, that's not true. That was so good.
Oh my goodness.
We are incredible.
Wait.
Thank you for the super chat.
Tell me to jump, I'll say how high. Using the midlife, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can't let Eric show us all up. Happy chat.
So yeah, so we're doing waves for super chats. Hope everybody likes that.
We'll do tricks for food. That's me. Nick D says, awful early for a cocktail, gallivanting gals, he said while sipping a margarita at the resort. Hello,
Nick D, we've missed you. We haven't seen
Hopefully
Nick and Megan on these in a while.
Hopefully you're enjoying some Mexico weather.
Yeah, it sounds really, really fun. I don't know if you're with Two Travel and Tour right now or not like you were last time, but I'm very jealous you get to be in that sunshine, that's for sure.
Klaus, welcome. Hello.
Welcome, Klaus.
Ronnie Dove, the Steelers will win today. Hashtag here we go.
So we were standing in line at Tintagel Castle.
Tintagel.
And the person in front of us was definitely British and wearing an Indianapolis Colts jacket. And you know how, like, because you're standing 6 feet apart from all the people and everyone's wearing masks, like, you just don't start conversations anymore these days with, people, especially people online. And so we just wanted to, like, we had so many questions, like, why the Indianapolis Colts? Why?
And they won the Super Bowl.
I mean, yeah, and, like, Derek's from, outside of Indianapolis.
Maybe he studied abroad in India.
Maybe. But we never got to find out, Like, we don't get to talk to people like you would, so...
Yep.
Man.
And the people that try to talk to you don't want to probably talk to.
Oh yeah, we had somebody. But...
So Roger is saying that Exeter is a very good center for exploring much of the west of England.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that. There's some great highways through here and stuff. So getting different places would be pretty easy. I mean, it'd be really easy to get to Plymouth, down to Cornwall, up, you know, along the.
And it was only an hour
border
from
of Wales.
Tintagel.
I think it's Tintagel.
Everybody, I feel like, pronounced it differently.
But with an accent.
Yeah, and so we never knew.
I felt like when I would be in Spain and I would be talking to my host family and tell them I was going to a place and they'd be like, "Donde?" And I'd be like, "Jerez? Donde? Jerez? Donde?" And Jerez. And I'm like, I said that. Come on. That's what I felt like with Tintagel because I kept being like Tintagel.
Tintagel.
Oh, Tintagel.
Yeah,
and I'm like.
And it was every British person didn't understand us at first, and then they would be like, "Oh," and then insert way they pronounce it. Yeah. And we were like, "Sure, that place, the castle that everybody likes."
King Arthur's birthplace. So it was fun.
I feel like when we do finally put out that travel day vlog, we'll have to put a notes,
counter for how many different ways we say it.
Oh, that, and then put add in the comments which way you like best.
So gals are saying that they've also been very lucky in getting items returned to them.
Nice.
So that's good.
You guys and Derek have the good luck.
Yep. Mo says, "Hey guys, watching while I'm on the cliffs in the Giants Causeway."
Nice.
So Mo. That's really cool, Mo.
We're
always
super
wanted
jealous. To go to Giants Causeway.
Fact check as if we were wrong, but we had heard that Northern Ireland might be undergoing a lockdown right now. I thought that was the case. Hopefully, it sounds like I think a lot of outdoor activities are still open. So that is one difference I think that's kind of happened here in the UK is that this round of restrictions hasn't really closed necessarily all the outdoor things and whatnot. So you can still actually go out and do a lot of stuff outside. You just can't really go to pubs, bars, restaurants, etc.
Yeah. So. And then, all right, just catching up on everybody's chats. Looks like a lot of people chatting with each other. Thomas Reiser's on. Hey, how's it going, Thomas? And
Nick D says Tetris Castle. I don't know what that is.
Tutankhamun Castle. I think he's just trying to tell us all the ways to say it. Thomas Reiser Castle.
Tutankhamun Castle.
That's nice. It. It's definitely the Thomas Reiser Castle.
Hello, Thomas Reiser. Welcome.
Yeah.
Pronounce.
We on the day Mary Ellen's notes reminding me of everybody as they travel kind of gets those few days that really test their patience. what I did at the end of our crazy travel day that nothing went right, I posted a poll on Instagram and I was like, has anybody else had one of those travel days? And I think it was like 97% of people responded yes. So I know we're not alone, but it was definitely just one of those things where we're like, what else is next? Like, what's going to go wrong now?
Okay, so Fierce Mice likes our motto, see a toilet, use a toilet.
Oh, thank you.
I think that's the motto they're responding to, I hope.
Probably.
Nick Barnett says, good morning from New York, New York.
Hey, Nick, welcome.
Maybe just New York. Maybe not New York, I don't know. He's in upstate, right? Nick, are you in upstate New York?
I think he's in Syracuse, unless he's moved elsewhere because of online classes. But yeah, we told that motto to friends of ours that we saw when we went to St. Ives, and they were like, oh, that's, I mean, maybe you should like replace it with like Lou or something.
Like, that's a bit graphic.
Yeah, we're like, no.
Nah.
The word on the wall says toilet.
Yeah.
So.
Every time I say restroom, they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, do you rest there? I'm confused. Because that's very much an American
It's
thing.
see a restroom, use a restroom doesn't have as nice of a takeaway. I don't know.
It's less satisfying. Where am I? I got lost. Okay, Meg Morris says, at Gavin Gal's been here a week. Leave Wednesday, I assume, is what you meant. Definitely will consider going back in February. Would love to meet up.
Awesome.
Okay.
I'm so jealous of that Mexico trip, man.
Yeah. All right, so gals are saying our most recent bad luck is that we bought 2 Rode wireless Go mics for our trip, used them for 3 days, and then one just totally died. Warranty covers, but out of stock. So we'll see when we actually get them.
Ugh, that stinks. Yeah, when at the beginning of quarantine, when like everybody was working from home all of a sudden,
yep.
Amazon's inventory for like wireless microphones, like computer mics, ring lights, etc., was just so low. Like everything was out of stock. So hopefully they're getting things back slowly but surely.
So Aaron asks, is the weather in England still nice? I assume you will be having a few rainy days. What's the plan for rain days? Pubs?
Great question.
Yeah, so the weather, we've been fairly lucky with the weather. It's been, like, today it's gorgeous. Yesterday it was rainy. It's probably going to be rainy.
If I move, no, that doesn't help at all.
No, you'd have to probably pivot this.
But
it's blue skies with, like, fluffy clouds and stuff right now. It's actually really nice.
Let me see if I can, I'm going to try something crazy.
Don't do it.
I don't know.
Everything's set up nice.
The wireless microphone's probably going to, or not the wireless, the plug-in microphone's probably going to fall if I take it away. But it's really nice.
It's really nice outside.
I'll take a picture for you guys to show it to you.
Okay, so yeah, no, the weather's really nice today. It's getting chilly. It definitely is getting colder. But it's kind of hit or miss. On rainy days, it kind of depends on how rainy. If it's like, that's what it looks like outside of a window.
Outside of a
window. It's like for like an airport hotel. It's like surprisingly like bucolic. It's like kind of like a field. It's kind of nice. But no, so for if it's like really spitting rain, like really really hard, we'll probably do it as a work day because we do have a lot of content that we can actually that we need to like edit and everything. Down the wrong pipe.
Go ahead.
So we'll probably work on super rainy days. If it's just kind of coming down a little bit, just like here or there with like lulls in between, we'll still go out. We'll just put on our rain gear, take umbrellas, and still go out around, see the sights, hike, and all that good stuff. So kind of depends on what it is. If pubs are open, we wouldn't mind going to a pub in the middle of the day. If they're not crowded, anytime that we've gone to a pub, we've only gone where we felt that it is easy to socially distance.
Yeah, because you will walk past. Ooh, my voice. You will walk past certain pubs that are not quite following the rules, at least to our comfort level. I'm sure for other people, could be fine. And so basically we're like, we'd rather go to places where the tables are definitely distanced from each other and the other people seem to like be leaving other people alone,
Yeah, but if you walk by a pub and you see a guy, you're I'm like, he seems like he's projecting too much.
Yeah, like
and there's no mask, so
I'm
gonna avoid that place.
Well, most places require, like everywhere at least that we've walked into pub wise, has a parent company. I don't think we've gone to any independently owned pubs. So
no, I mean most pubs in the UK I feel like are owned by like
Right.
Fuller's or Green King or one of those big ones.
Yeah, and so we've steered towards those. Just like we've only really stayed at like Hilton owned hotels so far on this trip. Not saying we would only stay at Hilton's, but like we love that they have the clean room sticker, and they have very clear messaging as soon as you enter the hotels of like, please socially distance. Here's what our protocol is, that sort of thing.
I mean, the real reason we've been staying at Hilton's when we've done hotels, the two places that we've done them, is that they've been very affordable, and because of our status, we get free breakfast, so it makes them even cheaper if you back out the cost of breakfast.
Yep.
So I mean, this place was something like £58 a night or something like that,
It's
and
£59.
£59 a night, which is
what, like
relatively $70-something
under
dollars.
$80.
Under $80, and that includes breakfast for two. I mean, that would have cost us probably like £8 to £10 per person each morning for breakfast if we went out and got breakfast. And so we're like, hey, that's nice.
And if like we had a family, which we don't, like this is a fold-out couch. I mean, how great of a deal is that, seriously?
Yeah. No, it's a good deal. So
you can find some good deals and still find places that feel safe.
Yeah, so it's been nice. They have like hand sanitizer stations all over the place
on every floor,
kind of everywhere,
beginning and like entering and exiting every elevator and stairwell. And then we ate dinner and lunch here yesterday, and we've been ordering drinks from downstairs. You actually order them via text message here. Yeah. Which is so interesting. So a lot of places that we've experienced have a QR code that you pull up the menu and then you would order via like an app. But this hotel, literally Derek just texts some number and says, hey, I want this cider. And then the front desk staff basically like comes and brings it to us and leaves it like as far away from us as possible. And then we take it and then... Yeah,
I just keep like texting them like, I want a beer. Basically, beer me. But yeah, no,
I've never seen that before. Nice. How cool is that?
You tell them what table you're sitting at, you tell them your room number so they can charge it to your account, and then they just bring it to you. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is beautiful. And I just like, I'll copy a text message, paste it, and then just like change the table number I'm at, and be like, send.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So it's been really interesting just to see how different hotels are doing things differently. When we were at the Hilton in London, it was different than this one. And you did order off of, it was a QR code, right? At the, I believe it was.
No, it wasn't. It was a person.
Oh, it was table
service.
We had a wait staff.
It was fine.
But they still had it.
Okay, so real quick though, because we got a little sidetrack. Paul Tipton!
This is really cool.
Paul Tipton, thank you very much. And yes, Derek looks like he's at the kiddies table.
Oh yeah, so for anybody who didn't hear the beginning of when we were explaining why Derek's in a Lowe's chair, he's not even in a chair. He's in an ottoman. You could probably lift it up. Because there's only one chair in this room, and we didn't think about it with enough time left to go track down another chair.
This is what I'm sitting on.
So that's why Derek looks really short today. But he's making it work, and that there is that. And I guess I can like go back here so I don't look so tall compared to you.
I just have a giant head compared to you.
Set design. Anyway, wow, we are really behind.
We're really behind, so we need to catch up.
I can tell you and I are just like joking around with each other this whole time and not paying attention enough to any important travel questions that are coming in. Okay, so we did though. I think we were, meaning to tell you guys about the text messaging and the QR codes and everything like that, and a theme that we wanted to share throughout this is our experiences with AirBNBs and hotels and how things have changed. And the differences between a bunch. Oh, you know what we didn't add is we stayed at a guest house B&B as well for 2 nights.
That was nice.
So we've stayed
at 2 B&Bs.
Yeah. Yeah, we
So we've done all of them twice.
We can include the difference between like the B.
But we need to catch up
too.
first. So Griswold family vacay. Hello,
Hi guys,
welcome.
Thanks for joining.
Yes, thank you, Danny. And then what else? So John Socha.
Welcome, John.
Hello, love your channel. My wife and I did similar adventures as you're doing and had a great time. Have fun and stay safe, John and Chippy.
Oh
Hello.
my gosh! I hope we're pronouncing that right, because we've been going and eating so many fish and chips here in the UK,
Chippies.
and they call them chippies here. And it's
one of the best in London is called the golden.
It's
chippy.
like one of the most fun words. So yeah, I mean, sorry for pronouncing it wrong, but like, that's fun. That's a great.
All right,
name.
Gareth says Bristol,
Hey,
my alma mater. So Gareth, if you have recommendations, shoot them our way, because we don't really know what to do in Bristol except for like a couple. I think there's like a bridge and some other stuff.
Yeah, so we're gonna do 1 day walking around Bristol. So if anybody
one, maybe two, we'll see.
Well, we are hoping to do Bath and the Cotswolds. Yeah.
So it'll be fun. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Gareth. Just shoot us some recs if you have them. Megan Morris says, golf carts on demand for people that overindulge. I didn't realize I was signing up for spring break in my 30s. That's awesome. I wish we had a golf cart to take us places.
We saw, where was it that we were seeing people driving like not quite cars on this trip? I feel like
I don't know
it was one of the coastal towns. People were driving around like kind of those open air cars a little bit more.
I don't know. Nick D says, Land's End. I mean, it's a nice clothing and furniture store, but it's hardly worth going overseas for. Ha sir.
Nick D, you're like jokester.
So, Roger says, the drawback of going to Scotland in December is that the daylight period is shorter than the south of England. Yes, definitely. Yeah. So we'll probably try to make it up to Scotland probably in,
Late
November?
November.
Mid-November?
We probably would be there over like
mid.
Thanksgiving in the U.S. and stuff like that. And then our trip is supposed to end December 7th.
Yep.
We have a ton of flexibility on that, so yeah, we'll see how things net out.
Thomas Reiser says, I ended up getting more sleep by accident. That's a happy accident. I like getting more sleep. It's always fun.
Yeah, because he's not in where we get more sleep because of daylight savings time yet.
So, Galvan Gals is telling Meg Morris, I can tell you it's worse in your 40s. It ends up being like high school all over for us when we go out with a group of 20 friends, but no one has been carted off yet. Nice. And Musings of Midlife loves the wave. LOL. Nice. Great wave. Thank you, Ronnie Dove.
Thank you, everybody.
Nick D is accidental sleep called narcolepsy. Maybe. Nick Barnett's, hello to those who said hi back to me here. Watching on my phone, so can't tag back, but I see ya. Nice.
Aw, Nick.
Yeah, I know that pain, because it's definitely a lot easier when you have like a keyboard to do it, because you just hit @
Yeah,
it'll
the
autofill.
chat on your phone doesn't let you automatically do it. And hot tip, if you're on your keyboard, if you press @ and you start typing their name and then it shows up, you just have to press tab.
Yeah. Musings of Midlife says, I live in Minnesota, so short days in December are normal for me. Nick Barnett says, how's the weather up where you're at in the UK? The weather's nice. It's in kind of like the 50s Fahrenheit range type of thing.
Yeah.
Lower
today
50s.
was nice. Yesterday was rainy and windy the whole day, so that's why I got the London vlog done.
Yes.
But yeah, today's a great day.
Today's a great day. We probably should have gone out, but we did the live stream, and we're actually going to go into the city after this for dinner. We're going to eat Thai food because we've been eating a lot of, British stuff.
Yeah.
And we wanted something a little bit different, so.
Yep.
Thomas Reiser, more like I overslept. Very cool. Megan Morris is saying...
Mary Ellen said to Megan to enjoy Isla Mujeres, which is a place in Mexico that I've always wanted to go. It's supposed to be so beautiful. Hopefully someday we get to go.
I got my own Isla de Mujeres right here. Because Women Island.
There it is.
So,
makes total sense. Everybody followed that logic. It was spot on. Mm-hmm.
Spot on. Also, can we talk about the fact that woman is a masculine word in Spanish? I think it's el mujer. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, mujeres.
Mujer.
Oh.
Is La Mujer or El Mujer?
I don't remember.
I don't know. Whatever.
Roger Sexton says, Eliz said Tintagel correctly when she said the A as
Tintagel.
in cat.
So that's so weird, because I said that, and like, somebody in Cornwall
I feel like I just
corrected
said
me.
cat out loud, and then I was like, that was the most Chicago accent that's ever exited my mouth. Cat. I'm from Chicago. I bet Roger Sexton's probably like adding in like, no, not like that.
Tintagel.
Oh man. Okay.
Oh, but look here, right here. Gareth is saying I've always said it as Tintagel.
Tintagel.
Tage.
See, that's the problem right there.
Tage.
Exactly. We're reading the same word.
Is it potato or potato? I don't know.
Oh, good point. Yeah, every morning so they serve like English breakfast here at the hotel, but you kind of get to like tell them each of the things that you want within it. Of course, we basically get it always as the same.
He's saying Taj like badge. Tintagel. Okay, Tintagel. All right.
Tintagel.
I feel like...
I think different people pronounce it differently is the takeaway, because that's literally we heard it happen.
Yeah.
Was different people told us it's pronounced different ways, and we're like...
Because one person said it, I thought they were telling me Tintagel.
Oh yeah, there was a point within the day that you were saying Tintagel.
Well, because somebody said it to me and it sounded like that. I was like, I'm so confused.
That's like that would have two N's.
I don't know. Okay,
Sorry
so Kim
for
M
all
says...
of you guys who are like, this is annoying.
Kim M says, it's nice that you have a good long trip so that when a day goes sideways, you can laugh it off. Sometimes the misadventures make the best memories. Nice.
Tentacle Castle.
Tentacle Castle. That sounds not fun, Nick.
That's filled with octopi.
Galvan Gal says, we stay on Isla with our friends, but are going to check out Isla Holbox this time also.
Nice.
Very cool. Tintagel.
Right,
okay, fine.
We already got that.
All right, Marilyn Dillon. I heard that on the live with Cruisers, Nautical Nurse Nancy, life is good today. I go to Isla every year. Nice. So Megan Morris says, Holocene looks amazing. Would definitely go if we had more time there. Huh. Nick Barnett says, I saw a map of the funniest town names in the UK. You guys should go to some of them and see if there's anything like their names.
Yeah, we should. There's that one town in Wales. I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce it, but like the town name is something like 30 letters long. That one would be an interesting place to go if Wales opens back up.
Somebody sent that to us actually, and they were like, "Hey, you need to go here." And it was like 2 lines.
They sent it and they like wrote it out, and then I had to approve it because YouTube thought it was gibberish.
Yeah, they thought it was just somebody coming in and trolling with gibberish.
Yeah.
And they even said they're like autocorrect was a pain in the butt on that one.
Yeah, I
bet. So, Thomas Reiser, feel like I could use more sleep. Sorry, we're putting you to sleep, sir.
Man.
But we're glad that you're still here. Galvin and Gals is saying I use all my inclusive Mexico decoder on that. Wait, what?
I used my all-inclusive
Mexico decoder
on that one and knew what you meant.
Nice. Okay. Julie Good. Hello, Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Thank you for being here. Good morning from Arizona. So glad to see you having a great time in your travels. Gives us all a sense of normalcy and moments like this to look forward to. Thank you. Oh, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Julie, and thanks to everybody who's new. We really, really appreciate all the new faces on this channel lately. It's been really cool to add to this community of fellow travelers. We love talking to you guys every single week. So yeah.
Okay, so
oh man, there's another one. Oh shoot! You start it. There we go.
There we go. All right, Scorpio Sue.
Thanks, Sue.
Thank you. Anything you're missing from the U.S.?
A lot of I really wish that I brought more exercise clothes. Because that's like it's more of like I packed wrong than missing.
She means
US
more like
things.
hiking clothes.
I'm sure. Yeah.
More
Sorry,
anything,
hiking
right?
clothes.
Yeah.
So like.
For
obviously,
outdoors
like
activities.
I have this sweater and it's good for the live streams and stuff like that. But
I have this sweater.
This
and
sweater's
it's good
not
for
great for being outside all day long. It would be nice to have more of the. We kind of packed as if we were going to cities, more than we are. We like haven't. We've had like one day in London, and then the rest has been hiking and exploring castles and stuff.
Oh, just had to approve Gareth's crazy.
Did he spell it out?
I can't do that.
Yeah, it's too much.
Then go gotch.
What about you? Is there anything from the U.S. that you're missing?
Kraft mac and cheese. No.
Always.
Always. I miss that in Chicago. Anything that I'm missing from the? Nah, not really.
I don't think so. Well,
I was scratching my coffee itch because in our last place we had a coffee maker, so we were doing like actual drip coffee instead of the instant coffee. So I kind of was able to indulge in that a little bit for the last like week.
That was really nice. At the last AirBNB, we had a coffee maker that made like the big 12-cup thing. So that was a treat. But I feel like there's been things that we've missed too. You know what I've missed, and Derek has not. I can tell you right now, he has not. Where we are and where we've been haven't. I guess this is kind of tied to what I already said. Is I wish that I had more hiking clothes, but like we haven't been in places that have stores. Like they have some stores, but it's kind of like touristy souvenirs and stuff.
Truro had a bunch of stores.
We went, but we were only there for an hour.
Oh, you mean like where we've stayed?
Yeah, where we've stayed. Like I can't just run out.
South Sea had stores and stuff.
Yeah, I also miss things just close so early here.
Yeah, especially in some of like the smaller towns. Like when we went to Winchester and it was like 5 p.m. and everything on like the main street was closed.
The entire main drag was closed.
We're like, whoa, that's different.
Yeah.
So there's some little things like that, but I wouldn't say there's anything that I'm particularly missing from the U.S. Obviously, friends, family, things like that. We miss those, but we weren't seeing a lot of them anyways because COVID. So it's kind of like, no, that's fine.
Yep. Yeah. I would say like probably if we weren't keeping so busy with creating content, we would probably be missing more of our like U.S. shows and stuff. But we just haven't had time to watch TV at all.
Yeah. So not a lot of TV. People have asked. Like,
Derek's missing Hallmark Channel a little bit.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. Ooh, Hallmark Channel. Yes. Christmas movies are starting up soon on the Hallmark Channel. So my parents are taping them so I can go in and watch them. So that's what I'm going to be doing.
Because when you think Derek, you got to think Hallmark Christmas Fanatic.
Actually, I'm super stoked because Netflix is dropping like Wednesday their first holiday movie on Netflix called like The Holiday.
Dope.
And it looks terrible but great at the same time.
I think like Emma Roberts.
Emma Roberts is in it, yeah. So I'll watch it.
We'll see.
Nick Barnett says he's upstate near Albany these days. Very cool.
Nice.
Okay.
Albany, I hear, has like amazing fall foliage.
Lori Sims, good morning from California.
Hey,
hello, Lori.
Welcome.
Hello. Glad to have you here. Okay, so Gavin and Gals, haha, I was just thinking Derek must be sitting on a stool or a side table. I'm just squatting. I'm just nothing. working on my thighs here, guys.
It's tough because we would have both sat on this couch, but we would have been too far away from this table. So, and the table's like stuck to the wall. You got to make do with your hotel room modular furniture.
All right, Nick Barnett says, got to go, brunch time. Great to see you. Glad you're enjoying your time in the UK.
Bye, Nick. Sorry, we probably already missed you, but thanks for jumping on.
That's so cool. Like ordering pizza on a cruise, they bring it to you. Very nice. Unless you go on a cruise and you do like they always have like the pizza buffets on the cruises, or at least they did when I did my cruise way back when. And I can see why they say that like the average person on a cruise gains like it's like 6 pounds, 7 pounds.
What?
Like
Just in 1 week?
Yeah.
Whoa.
On like a week cruise, or at least that's what it was back when I went. That seemed to be like what people, and I understood because we went.
I want to know the methodology behind that statistic. And like
water displacement. I don't know.
Like, did they weigh somebody before and weigh somebody after to get there?
Probably a study. But no, I mean I could see it. I mean there's just food everywhere, and you just it's all you can eat. It's phenomenal. As a college kid, I was like, finally, yes.
Yeah, that's like a good deal.
But it was like
as a
me and my
college
fraternity
kid.
brothers would go to like the gym and work out in the morning, and there'd be just nobody. It's like us and the trainers, and they're like, yeah, like, and that's when I learned the fact was from one of the trainers. I don't know if that was just their sales speech of like, hey, don't be that guy, like, let's work out.
I didn't even know they had trainers on cruises.
Yeah, they have trainers.
Do they have it on all of them?
I don't know. I'm not a cruise expert.
Anyone who's a cruise expert.
Cruise people are on here, so they probably know.
Do they have trainers on every cruise? Let me know.
I think I don't know how it works.
Oh, like you have to pay for their services still?
Probably. I don't know. We didn't use them. We just did our own thing.
Okay.
It was when I was young and did that kind of thing. All right, Gareth says, I was at a hotel last week in Hampshire, and they'd removed the phones in the bedrooms, but set up a WhatsApp number you could text requests to as well. Awful hotel, unfortunately, but the WhatsApp was cool.
But the WhatsApp.
Service was great.
Oh,
That's
man.
funny.
Yeah. That actually would make sense, but what's interesting is a lot of Americans don't have WhatsApp. And so it's, I guess you're really catering towards the UK.
Yeah, and I'm Gareth, I'm curious what part of Hampshire you were in, given that we were in Hampshire for so long. Winchester we thought was pretty cool. Portsmouth, obviously, we really enjoyed. And then Southampton's the other like major city over there. But I mean, there's a lot over there. So just curious on where you went.
So I think Thomas is saying he thinks he stayed at the same hotel as this one. He says he thinks he stayed at the same hotel. Make sure they don't charge you in dollars. They did that to me. You know, the Hilton in London, the Hilton Tower Bridge.
Yeah, I accidentally pressed
charged.
the button to say yes, do it in dollars. But I thought I was just saying yes, proceed. So it was kind of tricky.
And then they like had to have us come back at the end of the trip.
Yeah, then when they
fix it.
charged it at the very end, that's when they charged it in pounds, though. They didn't actually charge it in dollars.
But you know how like a lot of people just walk out of the hotel and everything and don't really wait and get a bill and check, like do the formal checkout process.
Yeah, so we'll definitely do a formal checkout to make
that's
sure.
something that you might, if you're ever traveling to the UK or abroad in general, you might want to like prioritize that time. Because
I do not want to get stuck with their exchange rate. It is not good. So
yeah, it's a good heads up. Thanks, Thomas.
Roger Sexton says you are saying Chippy correctly.
Nice.
There we go. Paul Tipton, with your visit to the Lake District, shame it wasn't 15 years ago. I have a sister who lived in Grasmere near Kendal. Cool.
We don't. I'll have to look up where all of those places are.
We're going to be staying up near Keswick.
I believe so, yeah.
While we're there, which is nice. It'll be, semi-centrally located within the Lake District, so we'll be able to go do, like, Castle Rig, which is, like, the Stone Circle up there, and a bunch of different stuff. So we've got 8 nights up there, and I think that we'll have a pretty packed schedule. We'll try to probably have a couple of those days be more like work days if the weather's not looking good, but most of the time we want to be out hiking and exploring and all that stuff. So that's the goal.
Hopefully by then I will have found a place to buy hiking clothes in the UK because I only have like 2 pants and 2 shirts, and that just is not getting me very far.
More outdoor gear, I think. Yeah, that's something.
The next Airbnb we're staying at in Bristol is the first place we're staying that has a dryer. I'm so excited.
That's going to be indulgent. She doesn't use the dryer much in the U.S.,
no,
but
I don't,
it will be nice to be able to use a dryer. It's like, it's nice to have the option.
Yeah, it's really... it's funny to say it that way, but it's true. It's like, it's really nice to just have the option to dry things.
Especially if it's like, you can't put stuff outside to dry, and it's like wet and like damp, and you're just like, this is not going to dry for 3 days.
And the last Airbnb we were at didn't even have a hair dryer. So there's no dryer and no hair dryer. So
Eliz would be like, I just took a shower, I washed my hair, now I found out there's no hair dryer.
There's a strategy behind, like, we would need
can't
to be
do anything.
like the 2 days before you leave, you can't like make anything wet at all.
All right, bye gals. Thanks for joining us.
Gals.
Have fun, enjoy the game, and thanks for joining us from Nashville. We love that patio porch area that was in your live stream in the back. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was.
So, all right, let's see. What else do we got? Tighten up, gals. Okay, so Nick D. So we saw a pool, so we're going to use the pool.
Nice. See you.
Buenos dias, everyone. See you next time. All right, Nick D.
Adios.
Megan Morris. Thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Ten un buen dia.
Sí, claro. All right, Paul Tipton. It's 8 degrees Celsius here. Not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. So 816 plus, so 40 something, 45-ish maybe, something like that.
All I know
La
is
mujer,
28 degrees Celsius is
las
82 degrees
mujeres.
Fahrenheit.
Winky face. Thank you, Gareth. See, my minor in Spanish is not great. I don't remember that, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense because
I mean, you did say it like you were correct, but the certainty wasn't there anymore. We need to.
That's one of those ones though. Yeah, that was like I remember when I was learning that word, I was like, but it just seems like it's masculine by mujeres.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, so there's a lot of Taj and badge. Eric B is asking Nick D if they also have a hot tub. Okay, so Purdue says halfway back from Dallas at Memphis on the road now. Nice. Purdue, thank you for joining us.
I've never been to Memphis, but Walter's World has a great Memphis video. It made me want to go.
Gareth, La Mano though. Haha. Nice. Mano a mano.
Mano a mano.
Hand to hand. Paul Tipton, I could be wrong on Tintagel. It's just the way I say it. Sorry, I just can't. Llanfair pig.
That's not the craziest Welsh.
Llanfair.
That's probably another one though. That's crazy.
Gogoch.
Gogoch.
All right, so Gareth says I checked the International Phonetic Alphabet transcription, and apparently it's Taj like badge. Okay, cool. Gareth, my sister lives a couple of miles from Llanfair. Pigogich.
Close. All right, Lori Sims. Hey, make sure to give a thumbs up. Yeah. So
yes,
if you
please.
guys are watching, thank you. You're the best. And we really love doing these, and hopefully you guys like them too. So give us a thumbs up down below. It's a great way to support our content. Yeah. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because we are fun. The end.
Wow, that was something. All right, what else do we got? So
I've been staring at a computer for so long that I feel like I'm a little slap happy.
Okay, so Purdue says most folks miss good Mexican or Tex-Mex while in the UK, from what I hear. Yeah, that is one thing. I mean, being part Mexican, I do love Mexican food and usually eat Mexican food quite often. I've been enjoying the pasties though, so it's kind of hard when you're just like, pasty.
Yeah, the only Mexican place that we saw was called Habaneros in Cornwall.
That's
and
not true.
I think that's the only one that we've seen in Cornwall.
Oh, in Cornwall. We saw places in Southsea.
Yeah. And that one kind of looked like it maybe was like a Chipotle type.
Yeah, it was kind of
thing.
Chipotle-esque.
I think we saw it.
Definitely ran by a bunch of Brits though. It was like there were no Mexicans in there.
Yeah.
Although we did have a lady talk to us and she was like, okay, she was something else, guys. We ran into her at a restaurant. It was something. She told us how she was not a fan of America. But we're like, okay. But she did say, hey, I'm from Liverpool. We have a great Mexican place with Mexicans.
Or she said, like, run by a Mexican.
Run by a Mexican.
Like, there was a huge, caveat.
I know, it sounded more like she said they have Mexicans there. And I was like,
oh no, I didn't hear that.
That's what I heard.
Oh, okay. Well,
I was like, she
was a trip.
It was
so.
a trip. But yeah, so that.
But yeah, Purdue, you're right. Most folks miss good Mexican or Tex-Mex when in the UK. Yep. When I studied abroad here, I definitely missed it a lot. And I went to a restaurant that a coworker of mine recommended. That was supposed to be a Mexican restaurant in London. When I was like really having a craving.
Is that where you got your soup enchilada?
Yeah, so I ordered enchiladas, and it came, and it was soup. I'm not kidding.
It was like a tortilla soup?
And I was like, did they think that I didn't know what enchiladas were? And just were like, let's see if this girl eats it? Or do they not know what enchiladas are? Because I think I was only 21 years old, so I didn't complain or didn't say anything. I didn't have the confidence or the chutzpah yet to say anything, so I just ate it.
All right, so Thomas Reiser says, I am exhausted a couple long days in Indianapolis, including checking out the new Lou Malnati's, that just opened in Carmel, which was up to scratch.
Oh, nice. I bet your
So
brother and
my
sister-in-law
brother
are
and sister-in-law
all over
live
it.
in Carmel, so I'll have to go check that out next time we're up there and get some deep dish.
Yeah.
Vega Bonnie, good morning from Chile, Canada. Just woke up and firing up my Nespresso.
Hey, Bonnie.
Oh, yum. Do you have like the
Nespresso.
Nespresso? Do you make espresso? Or do you have the pods that are more like dome shaped and make like cups of coffee? We have the one that does the like cups of coffee, not the espresso
And
one.
you can't find pods for it anywhere.
Yeah, it's hard to find pods in stores.
You have to order them on Amazon.
Yeah, that's upsetting. But that's awesome. We like Nespresso.
We do.
Purdue. It is carried out only for Illuminatis. Okay, cool. Travel Adventures with Eric B. I would miss investigating Discovery in the UK. Yeah,
Is that a show? I bet it would be. I bet it's a show.
Mary Ellen Dillon says, Christmas movies have already started on Hallmark. I have one on now. What's happening?
But
Snowball fight? Was
Are
there
you
a snowball
watching
fight?
one while you're watching us? That's crazy.
Is there a meddling mother?
So
Did they trip in the snow and she landed on top?
is there a snowball fight?
So we do drinking games to Hallmark Christmas movies
Sometimes.
usually.
If it's an
Times.
appropriate time of day for drinking.
Like right now.
But yeah,
Snowball fight.
It's if there's like the best friend, or the meddling mother meddles. Then there's a snowball fight, a snow globe. If there's
Snow globes,
any mention
yeah.
of snow globes, man,
Yeah. There's a whole long list.
there's a long list of things.
Cringy things.
Speaking of things like that, though, Rick Steves just posted his Rick Steves drinking game on his Facebook account yesterday, I think it was, because his season 11 just came out. And it's just like, if you are a fan of Rick Steves, which I am, I know some people aren't, but I am, and you watch his shows, they're just like perfect. The drinking game is like every time Rick uses the word venerable or
Nice. So Amusement Midlife says, you've used both Delio and dope in this live stream. I love it. It makes me giggle. Glad that we can make you giggle.
Yeah, we kind of use them ironically.
Purdue, the cruise ship sat 3 feet lower in the water. Haha.
That's how they measured it.
Vega Bonnie says,
Saying was the average weight again on a cruise is 1 pound per day.
boy, was I worried on my 34-day cruise. Wow. Dang. All right, Marilyn Dillon, you had to pay for trainers on a cruise, but there is a gym always. Purdue, Delio Dope, someone making an MTT bingo card. I got WhatsApp when I was in India on business.
Yeah.
Oops, I'm going the wrong way.
You are going the wrong way. Yeah, we should probably have a bingo card. We should make one for us.
The means to travel drinking game.
Yeah.
Every time they do the wave.
The wave is fun.
See, we don't have a fun, like, shut up, Derek.
No.
Or shut up, Mark sort of thing, so. Although I know Eliz is thinking it a lot.
Sometimes. Sometimes not. I'm just kidding. I love you.
I lost it.
You lost it. Wait, hold on.
I need to find it. St. Mary's, okay. Church.
St. Mary's Church in the Hollow of the Witch Hazel is the start of a translation for proper pronunciation.
Clonfair Pig.
The second word doesn't have a vowel, so do you just get to choose one? He chose I. I'm gonna say peg. Pag.
I know, like, the double L in Welsh is like
It is, yeah.
Llandudno.
Yeah.
Llandudno.
So we went to
The double D is a
I need to work on that. We went to that in Northern Wales years ago.
Years and years ago.
Less than a decade ago, but it was like 2013 or something like that. It was awesome, though. We wanted to go back on this trip, but...
Eric Brown says, Investigation Discovery is a network with a lot of murder mystery shows.
Oh, cool.
So cool. All right, so how do you manage money as you travel? Do you mostly use contactless credit card?
Ooh, great question.
Thank you, Kim.
Kim, golden question. So we have been super glad that we have a contactless credit card on this trip, because honestly, it's been like a lot of places only take contactless. So we, I don't think, had that up until like less than a year ago. And now the Chase Sapphire Reserve is contactless. Hey, Derek, is the Amex contactless too? You said yeah? Okay, and the Amex Platinum one is contactless. Those are the two, like, major travel cards or whatever that we've talked about a lot on this on this channel. But it's been really important to have that as an option. The thing that's funny is that I remember, like, I used to be able to do that, and then they would have me type in a PIN. But American credit cards don't have pins, and so we would just have to press enter. That has like kind of gone away, at least for us. Like, nobody's asked us to type in a pin. So that's been a difference that we've seen on this trip. Then also too, with the credit cards, I would say, like, when we have been, for example, paying at like a Tesco and going through which is one of their grocery stores, and going through the line that's like, you just do it yourself sort of thing. Then we use the contactless credit card, but then a receipt prints out, and they ask us for a signature because we're like Americans, and so we've had to sign for things that normally you wouldn't have to, like, you wouldn't sign at a Target for your card or anything like that. So that's been different, and just the whole paying experience has been different from even a year ago here. What else? There's been, like, because you've done a lot more of the credit card stuff.
All right, so parking. Parking's
parking.
been one. So, like, for that, a lot of times you might need change. It kind of depends on who manages the parking lot, the car park. So a lot of them are done by a couple of big companies. One of them is called Just Park. And for that, you can actually download an app and use Apple Pay, which has been super convenient. I just need to always remember to change it from my Freedom card on my Apple wallet to the Reserve, so we don't get charged a foreign transaction fee. But yeah, so that's actually relatively simple as well, which is really nice. But if you do get stuck having to use cash, a lot of times we don't have change, because most places here in the UK right now want you to pay contactless. They don't want to do cash. Yeah. So we find ourselves using, we took out a bunch of cash when we first got here, probably like, £100 or £200 just to have on hand if we needed it. But, because of the pandemic, most people have been trying to do only contactless, which
is really hard too, because if a lot of the toilets, for example, you have to pay like 20p or 50p, and we just never receive change like that anymore, just because we're not using cash. So we have to also be very mindful of that when we're going around.
So I've bought my fair share of scones just to be like, hey, I need to break like a tenner. Do you accept cash? And I'll buy like a 90p scone, so I'll get a bunch of like change back.
So that's made it a little bit more challenging, because I don't know about for you guys, but like one of the hallmarks of a European trip has always been coming back with like all this jingle jangle coins in our pockets and in our wallets.
Don't have a bunch.
That, of course, you don't really have that happen to you as much in the U.S. And this time around, it's not been that way at all. Like, having coins is like, oh my gosh, don't use these for things you don't like absolutely need to use them for, because we need them for parking, we need them for the bathrooms.
Fierce Mice, LOL, don't pin your hopes on having the option to dry things. The average UK dryer is not what you would use in the US.
That is also true.
Yeah, we do know that. Actually, it was funny.
We'll probably spend an entire day drying one load of laundry, but
yeah, so it was actually funny. We were with our friends in Greenwich, and I was like, do you mind if I do a quick load of laundry? They're like, that's fine. Our dryer's not going to dry anything now.
And they're in like a nice high-rise
Yeah, they're
building.
in a nice place. So we're like, oh, okay. It all still dried in time and everything, but it was one of those things where I was kind of like, okay, so I'm not going to do that or that, because I need only stuff that I have confidence will dry by the time we leave. All right, so Muse in Midlife says, my last trip to Florence, they had a washer-dryer combo. It never worked. It actually dampened the clothing on the dry cycle. It was crazy. Wow.
Yikes.
All right, so it's close. Klaus says 8 degrees Celsius is 46 Fahrenheit.
Nice. You were close.
Very close.
Good job.
I just double it, add 32, and then like subtract 1 or 2, depending
Special
on
math.
how much. Borda, Welsh. You probably already said that. I joined a few minutes later.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think we said that one yet.
What is that?
It's Probably another town, another crazy town.
Where you at, Borda? All right, plans for Bristol. So Sean Gledhill.
Hi, Sean.
Hello, Sean.
Welcome.
And Mrs. K. Hello, Mrs. K.
Oh, she just found me on Instagram and YouTube recently, and we connected. So welcome to you as well. Plans for Bristol.
There's a bridge.
Yeah, but we also are open to suggestions.
Yeah, we're super open to suggestions. I just want to walk around. I mean, I think it's supposed to be a pretty cool city. We'll probably not eat at a bunch of restaurants while we're there, just because I do know the COVID count's not great right now.
Yeah, it's trending up in a way that we're more cautious than we've been in certain other cities. But
we're staying at an Airbnb, so we'll have a kitchen and access to that, so we can cook or order in and eat in the house and stuff, which will be fine. Take sandwiches with us when we go around to explore. So I mean, we'll probably spend 1 or 2 days in Bristol, actually exploring the city, and then the rest of the time, because we're there for 4 nights, we want to spend a whole day in Bath and I think a whole day exploring the Cotswolds. So that's kind of our plan while we're in Bristol.
Yeah, but Bristol looks really cool, and we want to see more of it. Yeah, for sure. Eric Brown, second thumbs up, and then I saw the sports report with EB, which I believe is also Eric
Third
Brown.
thumbs up.
Third thumbs up.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. All the thumbs up are appreciated. Thank you to everybody who's done that for this video so far.
Thank you. Mo is saying, well, that's my trip done. Hour drive home now, so I'll join again if you're still on. Thanks, Mo.
Thanks, Mo. Hope to see you soon.
See you in a bit.
We don't have any timestamps on these, so we're I have no idea how delayed we are.
Yeah. So Thomas Reiser says, I enjoy hanging out with you all. Any reports on Papa G?
Oh, Papa Gino.
So for those who don't know, Papa Gino is a very old man dog that was our roommate over the summer with his human.
So my friend
Megan's cool too, but Papa Gino stole my heart.
Megan has been on this channel, but she never joined one of the live streams. She was featured in my interview of what it was like in New York City in March for COVID-19. So I think that released maybe in early April. And so Megan moved in with us over the summer because she is from Chicago and just wanted to escape her studio apartment in New York City. So she moved in, and Papa Gino, her senior dog, just was the beloved mascot of this channel for a while.
He came on, we'd hold him. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
But no, he's doing well.
He's doing well. So Megan's living with her parents currently, an apartment searching in Chicago. So, yeah.
I think he's getting spoiled, probably.
Yeah, he's definitely getting spoiled by the grandparents, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Nicole.
Welcome, Nicole.
Poinette. If I pronounced your last name incorrectly, I apologize, but welcome. Also, Trespass for outdoor clothing.
Okay, I haven't heard of that one, so thank you so much. Was there another suggestion that I missed too? I don't know if I did. So
Nicole, okay, try Go Outdoors.
Oh.
In Cotswolds Outdoor.
Okay. We will definitely have to do that. I saw there's this one store in between here and Bristol, that had a couple of different initials and then the number 10. That was supposed to be outdoor clothing, and it's a UK-based company too. So, yeah, it seems like if I really track stuff down, there are some options. I just need to find myself in shopping locations.
Interesting. Lori Sims, I don't think most of the USA knows what real Mexican food is. We're lucky here in California, lots of choices.
Yeah.
Nice.
So California has definitely leans a little bit more of the Baja.
Yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah, it depends on where,
profile.
right?
Yeah. And
so my family, is from Michoacan, so has a very different type of food than what you'd get in Baja or Sonoran Mexican food or anything like that. So my family goes Tucson to visit her family, and we'll go to a place that has really good Sonoran Mexican food, and my family's kind of eh.
Yeah.
Even though it's really good and authentic, but it's
authentico, it's different spices, different sauces, different flavors. Carne seca at El Charro in Tucson is super, super good. But carne seca is not really like a big meat choice in like the Michoacan style of food.
Yeah.
So, just like in America, there is a diversity of food, you know, in Mexico too. And
massive actually.
So it's not. I love Californian Mexican food though. I will say, and I just love Californian food in general because I definitely lean towards healthier stuff. So I feel like California gets me in a lot of ways. There's always something on a menu in California that I'm like extremely excited about.
Fierce Mice says, getting your hopes up and experiencing the bait and switch of European dryers is awful.
All right, we will get our hopes really down. Thank you to everybody for like bringing us down, and we'll keep you all posted.
Good. It's good. We got to keep those expectations in check.
Yeah.
Mary Ellen, LOL, meddling mother, snowball fight. Nice. Mrs. K, Rick Steves says evocative in every episode.
He always says like evocative, venerable. There's a few other words that are like you know, SAT type adjectives.
A dying word.
And then there's another one that's like when Rick Steves uses alliteration. Drink.
It's always good.
That one's good too.
I find while we're in the UK, I use bucolic a lot, which it's so bucolic and nice. I'm reading a book right now that says that a lot, so I think I started using it.
Is the author British?
No. Kim M. I heart Rick Steves. He's such a lovable travel nerd in the best way.
Yeah.
We agree.
I grew up watching, so I'm the same age as Rick Steves' oldest son, I believe, and I feel like I just grew up watching him. He's like, it's almost like he's like my dad's friend, but he's not.
So Gareth is saying Halanfer PG is what people say to shorten that long thing.
Okay, PG.
Nice.
Like Papagino?
Like Papagino. Okay, so Mary Ellen says, what is a contactless credit card? So a contactless credit card is, so you know how you have the ones that have like the chips in them? They also now make them where it's kind of like an RFID type thing.
So pretend this is a credit card. There's like a little chip at the top that looks like gold on the card, and then all you have to do is put the chip next to the card reader, and like it's not like a swipe. You don't stick it in. Like literally, it's just kind of like you touch it and then it's done. And that's the contactless.
So if your credit card has something like that on it, right there, it means it's contactless. And what you can do is you can just like tap it onto the thing and it'll read it, kind of like an RFID signature or something like that, which is interesting because that's what a lot of people are doing now. And they'll have limits on how much they can charge to a credit card that way because there's like no PIN, there's no nothing, which in the UK, typically, if you have a chip like this, which is a chip, you'd stick it in and then you'd put in your PIN code and then it would charge it. Contactless, there's that, reduced level of security, but it makes it a lot quicker. I'm not showing any numbers.
I'm just like...
It's on the back. It's on the other side. I'm good.
I trust you guys.
I'm not giving our credit card to the internet.
The internet's scary. Scary.
Scary internet. So there's it's quicker, it's easier, there's less like touching of things, so it's a little bit better from a COVID perspective, and that's what they're really pushing on people now. But it does have limits. In a lot of places it might be 30 pounds, up to 30 pounds you can charge contactless. In some places now it's like 40, 45. I know I got gas the other day and I think it was $45.99 is what it cost me to fill up my tank. And their limit was 45 pounds, so I still had to use the chip and sign for it. So that's kind of what it is.
Majema, welcome to our channel. Thanks so much for being a new subscriber. They're asking for working while abroad. Yes.
Who are you talking to?
Right here.
Oh.
Yes. I create travel content, so makes it pretty easy to work while abroad.
Yep.
And then Gareth says, American cards don't have a PIN. That is correct. Our credit cards do not have a PIN. The debit cards do. So if you're like taking money out of an ATM, then you would need a PIN. But yeah, no, American cards don't.
Yep. Lori's saying Amex Platinum was my first contactless, which Chase is the second. MasterCard not available for it yet. Yep, that's same with me. I got the new Amex Platinum card, and then my Sapphire Reserve in, which this actually came in like right the Chase one came in like right before we came here, so that was actually really nice to have. Especially because not every place here accepts Amex, so having the Chase backup is really nice. And there's actually been times where my Chase, for whatever reason, hasn't worked, and Eliz's Chase hasn't worked, and they don't accept Amex. So Eliz does have a MasterCard, which has been very helpful to have with us. That's only happened like 1 or 2 times at like parking places.
Yeah,
but,
that happened when we were parking in Winchester.
Yeah.
Specifically, I had to use my American Airlines MasterCard.
Yep.
But it worked.
Yep. All right, Muses in Midlife. Had to go, guys. Thanks so much for the chat. Looking forward to seeing everyone next time.
Thanks so much for the super chat and the chat and all the fun times.
All right, Fierce Mice. Ever since EMV credit card chips became standard in the U.S., most of the time, lack of contactless payment ability is the merchant servicer provider's fault, not the card. Interesting.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Purdue. Apple Pay is my preferred method for years in the UK and many places in the USA too. You can choose which of your cards to use. I choose Amex that has no foreign transaction upcharge.
We started using Apple Pay since coming. We'd probably used it like a handful of times in the US. We've definitely started using that again since being here.
Yeah, no, I never really used Apple Pay in the US too much unless I was getting a... There was something where, like, I think my Chase Freedom card, which is why that's on my Apple Pay right now, was giving, like, extra points if you used Apple Pay at Starbucks. So I was going to Starbucks using my Apple Pay there. Which, talk about, feeling like an old person, be like, is this how you do it? I'm like, I don't... Did it go through? It was
work
bad.
yet?
Yeah, it was bad. But yeah, now I understand it. So yeah, that's cool.
Bonnie says something that is like really near and dear to my heart right now, and that is, she says, I miss my pillow when I travel. Last road trip I took it with me.
We always do that on road trips.
Yeah, we always do it on road trips. Even like to visit his parents and stuff like that.
Or her family. It doesn't matter who, right?
Yeah.
You like your own pillow.
So here, okay, so you can kind of see our pillows over there. But some of, like, the majority of them, there's 4 on the bed, and like 3 of them are crazy thick, and only 1 of them is like thin enough that my neck doesn't get cranked.
Which is funny because I didn't realize that they were different sizes, and so I had the thin one, and I actually like thicker ones. So I was using one that I didn't like. She was using thick ones, and we just figured that out today. I'm like, oh, you should use this one.
And I woke up this morning and I was like, I'm in so much pain. Ouchie, ouchie,
even though this is probably
ouchie.
the most comfortable bed we've slept on since we've been here.
Right, and which it actually is. Beds here are just at the Airbnbs we've stayed at are like lumpy.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can get really good, like really nice beds in like nice hotels, and we've been trying to find places that are like under $100 a night. So
yeah, we've been really trying to take advantage of the lower prices.
Yeah.
All right, so Nicole says, even as a Brit, I struggle with cash at the moment as I just don't use it. Yeah. Okay, so Gareth says, Borda means good morning.
Nice.
And Paul Tipton says, Yakida.
Good afternoon.
Goodbye. Cheers. Hello. I
Cheers.
don't know what that means.
He says cheers.
Cheers.
I'm assuming that means cheers.
Yakida.
Yakida.
I'm out of beer. I'll need to get more. Okay, Gareth says, I'll send you some Bristol ideas, and you're welcome to message me any questions on social.
Thanks,
Great.
Gareth.
Mike
Perfect.
Martinez. Hey, guys.
Hi,
Hope
Mike.
you're well. Love your content. Hey, Mike.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Great to have you on the channel.
So Purdue says, my cell data sims would not allow me to top off with US credit card. Fine to buy them, but not top off. Strange that they don't have £1 note paper, £5 see-through plastic money is cool. Yeah, so that is true. So we have a SIM card through 3 here in the UK, which we've been using on an old like work phone of mine. And what you can't do is you can't use like a US-based credit card to do like the online payments to top up. You have to actually go in store. So when we ran out of data, we actually had to go into Truro, which is one of the cities in Cornwall, to a 3 and actually top up in store, which was super easy. I mean, they give you a voucher code and then you put in the stuff. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt because they have to like call in, activate your voucher, and then put on your add-on and like all this other stuff. So it takes like an extra step. It's kind of annoying, but yeah, we did that, and we actually have unlimited data right now, which is beautiful, and yeah, I really enjoy it. So
yeah, this, as we were mentioning last week on the live stream, this is what was able to allow us to keep doing our live stream, because the Wi-Fi was so bad at the last Airbnb. We were using the hotspot on that phone. But Mike Martinez, thank you so much for joining the channel, and I feel like there's a couple other new faces on here. James Layton, Brian Travels. For all of you guys who are new, welcome. This is an awesome travel community of just people who are missing travel, love travel, and hopefully you guys, are just as interested in travel as all of us. So Derek and I are doing these live streams every Sunday for the rest of 2020, and then we're back to Thursday nights once we get back to the UK.
U.S.
Sorry, once we get back to the U.S.
We're in the
UK right now. And so hopefully you can join a lot of them. But we do a lot of travel Q&A each Sunday and share about what we've been experiencing on the road, and where we've been, what we've been up to. So it's really fun to have you guys come along.
So any questions, please let us know. Any of your pressing travel questions, and we'll answer them.
And just to piggyback on that, on this channel too, we are doing Travel Tip Tuesdays every Tuesday. And then I'm definitely going to be releasing a travel vlog video of our day in London coming up this week. Not sure if it's going to be tomorrow or Wednesday. I wouldn't do 2 on Tuesday. So we'll figure that out. But yeah, there's another travel vlog coming up soon. Hopefully you guys are all as excited as we are.
Yep. Rachel Kubaki, hello from Utah.
My best friend's on. Hi, Rachel.
And it's snowing in Utah.
Snowing there. Oh my gosh. Well, it sounded like it was pretty cold there yesterday when we were talking. So it's crazy. It's gotten even colder.
Yep. Fierce Mice says Tucson Mexican food has great options, but Sonoran style is definitely fantastic. Yeah.
Yep.
And El Charro is a phenomenal place
I
in
would
Tucson.
say, generally speaking, Tucson's Mexican food, so Tucson is in the U.S. It's about 100 miles north of the border. It's in Arizona. I would say it's like leans towards Sonoran style.
Yep.
You could probably find different types if you look hard enough, but the majority of like the stuff you'll see is Sonoran style.
James Layton says, we had a pound note until 1984. I kind of remember them. I was born in 77. Interesting.
Cool.
Mary Ellen says, oh, okay, I have that. Hadn't heard the terminology contactless before. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's cool because you just like kind of like tap it on the screen and then it'll read it within like a second.
Yeah.
And you're
so
done.
When you pay at the restaurant, they just like bring it over and kind of like reach it out to you, and then you like reach over and you go, and so it kind of maintains that social distance.
Can you do that again, please?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not how I do it, but that's how she does it.
I mean, that's how you look every time. Just kidding.
Brian Travels, hello, welcome.
Welcome, Brian.
Mary Ellen Dillon, LOL Eliz.
I don't know. I've been kind of silly today, so maybe I don't even know what she's LOLing at.
Paul Tipton, contactless cards have been 30-pound limit, but we're extended to 45 with the COVID situation. Okay.
I feel like we've paid for more with contactless, have we not?
No, 45.
It's been 45? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Eric Brown, I used contactless for the first time in Europe in February. I didn't even realize 2 of my credit cards were contactless. Yeah. And Thomas Reiser saying his Barclays card is contactless. That's cool.
There's certain public transportation, like kiosks and stuff, that you can use contactless as well. Like, I think the London Underground, you can pay for like your
Apple
Oyster
Pay
card. With
you can pay at the turnstile with Apple Pay now.
I think you're right.
You don't even have to get an Oyster card. And somebody was telling us that they think that they might be discontinuing Oyster cards, which is interesting. I hadn't heard that. And whatnot. So
Darian's on.
Darian,
howdy,
Darian. We have company from out of town, so I'll see you on the replay. Thank you for joining us, sir. We really appreciate it. Lori Sims is saying hi to him as well. Darian's always a favorite to have on. Thank you for joining us.
Magnificent Germany with Darian.
Magnificent. All right, so Lori says, I find a lot of places use IKEA products for their B&Bs. That's definitely true. A lot of places
and for AirBNBs.
Yeah, the AirBNBs and stuff use a lot of IKEA, like cutlery and different things like that, like pots, pans, etc. So.
Yeah, and
definitely.
so kitchens will use a lot of of IKEA, like bowls, plates, cutlery, and then pots and pans.
Yep.
And one thing that I've had the worst luck with getting kind of like worn out pots and pans at AirBNBs,
Yeah.
where like the handle's kind of like shaking and like about
Yeah.
to fall off because it needs to be screwed back in. But there's of course no like toolbox.
Well,
around
there's
me
no way
to
to
do it.
screw those. Those
Yeah.
are more like
Yeah, so
they're not, like,
that is a
frozen.
downfall with like the IKEA stuff, but I totally understand why they get it because like
cheap.
it's cheap. They always have the exact same thing, so if one glass breaks, they can replace it without having to have things go missing too much. But yeah, I mean, I would say like 95% of where I've stayed has been IKEA stuff.
We're on Klaus.
Okay. Klaus says the contactless credit card I have, you need to type in your PIN once in a while, around every 10th time you use it. Interesting. We haven't had to type in our PIN, but we also don't have a PIN, so I'm not really sure if maybe that we have some sort of exception. Elaine Bynes, welcome. Hi guys, I'm late, but we'll watch the beginning later, hopefully. Awesome. We've started a wave for all of this amazing super chats that we've gotten today. And Derek's opening another beer, so
Tribute.
you're not late.
This is the same as what I ordered down at the bar, but it comes in a can. It's not going to be cold, but the pale ales here are more like slightly below room temperature typically, so...
Oh yeah, so
that's a lot of head.
Let's just talk about real quick differences in hotels and Airbnbs that we've seen. So, one thing that we've noticed is that none of the places that we've stayed at, for the most part, like hotels have mini fridges. This one does not. The B&B that we stayed at did not. And so we actually, at one of the B&Bs, we asked for a mini fridge, and she brought us one that was like...
It was tiny, but it worked. It was very small. It was very cute.
Very cute.
It's like my first fridge.
Yeah, it was like... It was like a toy.
If that's a toy, that would be this. It was very, very
my
cute.
My first refrigerator.
But it was a really cute B&B. We really enjoyed it. It was in Weymouth,
Yeah.
which is, along the Dorset coast. It was a really great place. Really liked it. Very small room, but, it was very affordable. And I've never felt like a giant before, except for in that bathroom. I felt like a giant. But yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
It was a cute place.
Indeed. And I know that we had a few other things that we were going to talk about, but we are trying to catch up.
Yeah, we're behind schedule.
We are, not behind schedule, behind the chat. Okay, and then...
Klaus. Fierce Mice.
I can see that being a bit of a pain, but I like the concept to be forced to use your PIN occasionally. Yeah, I understand the security reasons behind that for sure, because that was something that we overheard a British person kind of like saying when we were paying for something, is he doesn't like the idea that
somebody could just pick up his card and use it. If he
dropped his credit card in the street, somebody could pick it up and use it. Yeah. Which kind of, I feel like somebody could do that just with like internet things generally, but... Yeah.
So, Bonnie is saying Canada has used contactless cards for a long time, and they recently bumped up the limit quite a bit.
Yeah, for the pandemic, that makes sense.
So, Lori Sims, are you experiencing any new lockdown restrictions, and have you had to adjust your plans to avoid them? Yeah. So, when we first came here, if you guys remember, we came to the UK thinking that we were going to hit all the nations that make up the UK. So, England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, those four. Since we got here, things have changed a little bit. Most of Wales is under lockdown currently. They are saying they do not want people who come from hotspots to enter, and they will be stopping people and, as needed, on like the roads and stuff to question people. And then Northern Ireland is under a number of lockdown restrictions and whatnot. So we've definitely been, looking at things, because a couple places like Liverpool, York, etc. are on higher tier restriction lists and, in the highest tier of lockdowns. And they were places that we wanted to go to, but now we're not going to because we don't want to actively go to those places. For our safety and for, the fact that we plan to go elsewhere, we wouldn't want to, bring it with us when we leave.
Yep.
So it has changed our plans quite a bit. We do think that we still have enough flexibility to make staying here worth it. Obviously, if the whole UK went into a massive lockdown and you weren't allowed to leave your house, that would change things quite dramatically for us, and we'd probably come home. But currently, that's not the case. What's happening now is that the places that we've been have been in the lower tier of lockdown, or the lower tier of restrictions. So you're still able to go to bars, restaurants, etc. It's the rule of six, so it's really just me and her, so we don't have to worry about the rule of six too much. Once or twice we were with maybe another couple, friends of ours that we met up with while we're here, but that's still 4, not 6, and we've been in places where that's allowed. And yeah, so I don't think it's changed things too dramatically. It's definitely made us more cautious, and we're definitely looking at numbers much more closely before we book things, and very consciously not booking super far in advance in case things change.
Yeah.
So I'd say the biggest thing is that the most we'll go out is maybe 2 weeks in advance booking anything.
The travel industry gets some coverage right now in the UK as well on local news and stuff like that. So when we were staying in Cornwall, there's kind of like a BBC Cornwall segment that we were watching, and Cornwall's
about as good as it gets.
Cornwall, yes, from like a COVID number perspective, Cornwall's doing really well, but its economy is very tourism based, and so.
And after going there, we can see why it's beautiful.
And there's something called the October half term in the UK that, at least in our experience, didn't really exist in the US. I feel like more school districts are going that way, to having like a kind of like a spring break version of like a fall break for in the US. But regardless, October half term here is kind of like a fall break. And I believe it's usually like a week, but a lot of different school districts are extending it to 2 weeks here, in an effort to have people like stay home and like not spread, not make things worse. So there were a lot of people who had booked Cornwall vacations, months ago, for October half term, and there was they brought on like the CEO of Visit Cornwall and the CEO of Visit Dorset onto this program,
which are the tourism boards of those counties.
Correct.
So in the UK they have this great thing with it where there's like Visit England, Visit Britain, and these are like the major tourism boards, and it goes down into like the county level and even to the city level.
Yeah. So they were interviewing those people, and saying like, how are accommodations handling the different tiers, and the fact that like technically, say for example, you're from Manchester, Liverpool, and you're in tier 3, which is basically like highly suggest do not travel, but it's not illegal to travel.
Well, the government guideline is do not travel outside of your local area, but it's not mandated by law. So there's nothing preventing people from leaving Manchester and going elsewhere. So it's kind of up to the establishment what they want to do.
Yeah, so the Cornwall guy specifically, they zeroed in on him, and he mentioned he like brought in at least like two different holiday hotel managers came on and started talking about how like one of them said like we've just proactively canceled all of our bookings from places with tier 2 and tier 3, but the other one's like, well, we're gonna let them choose. So it's so interesting to see even within one county that there's all this differing differing things, and we wouldn't want to be in a situation where somebody feels like they have to cancel on us because we're coming from somewhere that's really in lockdown.
Yeah, and it's about our safety too, and we don't want to go to a place that's very high incidence of COVID.
Yeah.
Because when this is all over, we will be heading back to the U.S. and being with our families. We don't want to bring it with us either.
Definitely not. We don't want it. We don't want to get it.
Yeah. So what I would say was, yes, it has changed things. There are things like Wales and Northern Ireland that are looking less and less likely that we're going to get to. I'm still hopeful that we'll make it up to Scotland, because Scotland's doing really well. If you get up into the Highlands, they've actually introduced a 5-tier structure where the lowest tier is about as close to normal course as it can get. But the, highest tier being closer to the extreme lockdowns that they had, back a couple months ago.
Yeah, one thing that I mentioned like months ago before we left is like things that I'm going to bring on this trip that are like 2020 related, basically, like things I wouldn't normally bring. And one of them was a thermometer with Fahrenheit, because for us, like, we don't really know what our average body temperature would be in Celsius and stuff like that, and what it should be and what's bad. So we brought this guy from home, so that way if we were like questioning whether we felt good or something like that, that we could just instantly take our temperature. And we've used it a couple we've used it a couple times on this trip to just like double check because we have been
She's
around.
doing fine, guys.
Yeah, 97.7. I always run cold.
I assume this goes into Celsius if you wanted to.
It might, but it's also like, I don't know. I think it's just Fahrenheit. But yeah, so that's like one thing to think about bringing on trips is your own thermometer. If you're going, especially if you're going somewhere that, if you go to a store and you buy a thermometer, it's in a different metric.
All right, Purdue says it got down to 39 degrees in Fort Worth this week. Freezing warnings nearby.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe high elevation. Nice.
I wonder, I hope it doesn't stay very cold because we're flying through DFW on our way home.
Yep. Hopefully it's not bad. Purdue says all EU, UK restaurants bring the payment device to you, and they are super protective of their pins. Most US folks I know don't even know their card pins.
So.
Do we have card pins?
I don't think we have card pins. If we do, yeah, Derek and I don't know ours. But the thing I wanted to say is, when you say all of them bring it, while that is nearly 100% true, Derek's you had to pay at the tapas place. You had to get up to pay, but it was
that was like at lunchtime. We were the only people in the entire restaurant. But yeah, after the next time we went, the other day, they actually brought it to us.
And I've told this story on this channel, but I think it was before a lot of you guys were joining the live streams. When I went to France, I don't know French, by the way, but I like try. And so I went to a sushi restaurant by myself, and I like made it through the ordering process, and I thought I was like good to go, and I asked for like the check in French, and then they said something back to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had no idea what they said. And I just was like, okay. And then clearly what they said back to me was, you pay in the back. But I had absolutely no idea what they said. So 10 minutes later, I'm like, can I have the check, please? And then they said it again. And I think it was like the people next to me were like, basically translated it. Because they knew that I was like, like a bobbing head of just completely, okay. So that I've been so embarrassed about that, where, yeah, I've had to basically pay in the back and had no idea. Yeah, so Nicole, you're right. I think I already mentioned that before, but you probably wrote it before I did, that you can use contactless to pay for the tube. Thomas says, I think that Scotland may have £1 notes. When we went to Scotland in fall of 2018, they did not, and I've been to Scotland now twice and I haven't seen them, but perhaps they're still in circulation a little bit. But yeah, we've always used the coin. Ronnie Dove says, he has to run. Oh, bye Ronnie, sorry that we missed you. I'm sure you've left at this point. And then Bonnie says, it's been crazy cold here this week. Contrary to popular belief, not all Canadians like to be cold. Yeah, I don't like to be cold. I'm sure that it's uncomfortable for all of you guys too. Purdue says, Oyster card. Sorry, I think with apps they're not putting in new Oyster readers. Perhaps not discontinuing them. Okay. Interesting. So we mentioned an Oyster card tip in our travel vlog video that we're going to be releasing from our London day. So make sure you stay tuned to hear that Oyster card tip. Bonnie says, not sure if you've discussed this already. When available, I use hotels for 1 or 2 day stays at AirBNBs for stays of 3 days or longer. Yes. Completely understand that logic. Oh, are you okay?
Yep.
He just banged into the
That's cool.
armrest. Anyway, yes. So AirBNBs are super great if you're potentially wanting to save money on cooking or just generally want like a, more space, that sort of thing. So we definitely have been leaning towards Airbnbs when we can here, because we are having that longer, like travel.
So, we're trying to do slower travel than what we typically do. When we typically come to Europe, we spend 10 days in Europe, and that means that we try to go to, 2 to 3 cities while we're here. So you're staying only a few days in each place. This time we're like, we can spend like a whole week in Cornwall. We can spend a week in, the Lake District, etc. So that's what we've been doing. And when you're spending that amount of time, it makes a lot of sense to actually go and stay longer, because the one issue with like an Airbnb is that they do charge a lot of times like a cleaning fee, and they'll also charge they charge the service fee, which is the Airbnb fee.
It's not as economical to stay at an Airbnb for a short time.
So yeah, if they charge a $56 cleaning fee or something like that, and you stay for one night, that's suddenly much less economical than if you stay there for a whole week. And so like if you split that over a week, the daily cost is significantly lower. So we look at that, and actually almost every place that we've stayed at that's an Airbnb is like a 2-bedroom type place. So for us, it's it's kind of a shame that we're doing this by ourselves, not with like another couple or something, because that would make this a much more economic option to go do an Airbnb rather than a hotel, because suddenly
I think our next place is a 1-bedroom.
So much cheaper.
I can't remember though.
Yeah, but what I was saying was that most places that we stayed at is more like a 2-bedroom. They could sleep up to like 6, and it's just us, and it's like, oh, this is a little wasteful, but it's nice. It's very nice.
We ended up. Okay, so we were mentioning mattresses before and like bed comfort level and stuff. And in our last Airbnb, like space-wise, it was great. Location was fine, but
there's a bed that
the bed was so lumpy in the double bed that we ended up going into the twin bedroom and pushing the 2 twins together because the twin beds were more comfortable.
Well, they were more firm. So that was nice.
Yep.
Purdue, have you guys had an electric shower yet?
Not yet.
No.
But we will. I'm pretty sure the one in the Lakes District has an electric shower. We'll keep you posted. But yeah, we've had those before. They're kind of creepy as an American. I'm sure they're totally normal for everybody else.
Eric B says, Cornwall looks so beautiful in those pictures yesterday on Instagram.
Thanks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I assume you're talking about the stories. Yeah, I've been kind of late on posting stories. I think I'm still on Cornwall. I didn't post anything today.
Yeah,
so
I've only posted one picture on my Instagram feed from Cornwall.
I haven't done anything. I've been actually, I posted a picture today. If you guys want to go check it out, from Kent, and Kent is beautiful, by the way. We really enjoyed our time in Kent. So I posted a picture today from Aylesford, which is just, there's like a bridge that you can look out on that just has like this stunning view. So it's really cool. Fierce Mice. Are hotels in the UK anywhere close to B&B prices? I haven't been in years, but when I was there, hotels were 3 to 5 times more expensive than a B&B. So a B&B, hotels are probably more expensive typically.
Yeah. So
but right now,
3 years ago, what you were seeing is pretty accurate. Right now, B&Bs and hotels, like even like international hotel chains, are around the same pricing.
Yeah, because they've had to bring down their pricing quite significantly to entice customers back right now.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, like this place was about the same price as what we'd get a B&B, like a
This place
guest
was
house.
$59 a night with the Hilton Honors discount. I think it would have been
like 62.
Sorry, £59 a night with the Hilton Honors discount.
It would have been 62 or 63 otherwise.
And then the B&B that we stayed at, I think, was like £80 a night. In Weymouth, but that's definitely also like it was right by the coast, so pricing wise that kind of made sense because the location's a lot nicer and much more walkable than we are here. The hotel in London, that was the biggest price drop that we have seen, because when whenever we've been to London, Hilton hotels were like $300 a night minimum, like even a DoubleTree. And the one that we got the Hilton Tower Bridge.
It was under $100.
Yeah, it was under $100 for like we were there on like a Thursday night. Yeah. So that was a huge price drop. I'm not expecting that to last once travel picks up, and especially business travel picks up.
Yeah.
But you can definitely find some good deals if you're willing to stay at hotels right now.
Yep. And, I'd say that we felt very comfortable at all the hotels we've been in. We've only been at Hilton's right now, but, I assume most of them, especially the national brands or international brands, are pretty similar in terms of their, COVID cleaning policies and social distancing, etc. I will say, around breakfast time, it gets a little iffy downstairs here because...
Also, kids don't always wear masks.
Yeah, kids aren't great at social distancing. There are a lot of kids.
And there's a lot of families.
Typically at a Hampton Inn like this, it would be more like serve yourself sort of thing. But they're actually doing, they serve you. But that said, it does get a little bit crowded at times and whatnot. So that, tomorrow, which is the day that we check out from here, we'll be waking up early and getting down there probably closer to 7 a.m. To go eat breakfast so we can hopefully miss the crowds. But yeah.
So Paul says 37 degrees Celsius is the normal body temperature for people.
So you'd be like
here.
35.
Yeah. So for me, that'd be 36. No, yeah. It's just funny because, for me, I always run cold. So if I'm in America, 98.6 degrees is the normal body temperature, and mine's 97.5 basically. And so if I'm at 99 ever, it's ooh, there is something wrong. And for most people, it's oh no, that's a totally normal temperature, and I'd be like, no, I'm sick. Goodbye.
I run hot, she runs cold. So.
Yeah.
Bonnie is saying if you have a cold compress on your forehead before you take your temperature, it can influence the reading, not endorsing cheating.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bonnie. And Travel Adventures with Eric B is saying, haha, it gets really hot here in Louisiana, and I still hate it. To Bonnie. Okay, Paul Tipton, try to spend your Scottish cash notes or swap them before returning to England or Wales, as even though it's legal tender, not everywhere will take it.
We've had that scenario happen, I think even in London, where we've come back and tried to use a 10-pound note or something, and they'll say, it's not that the note isn't money, but it's a totally different system than we have in the US, where you have to go to a bank and exchange it in order for restaurants and basically anywhere to take it. So you're just not allowed to use it.
It's weird.
There's a value assigned to it, but you must exchange it for the newest note.
All right, so
crazy stuff.
Lori is asking Eric B if he posts vlogs on NOLA, which is New Orleans. And he says, I have a few videos on NOLA, Zoo, Aquarium, French Quarter, Bourbon Street.
Yeah,
cool.
we'll have to watch those.
New Orleans is definitely high on my list of domestic places in the United States that I want to get to. I've never been there. I want to go super bad.
Sorry, I just want to go back to what Paul said super, super fast.
Okay.
Because the reason why he's saying that is there's I think it's William Wallace, basically Scottish people, Scottish historical people are on the Scottish pounds, versus the Queen is on the English ones, and so in England and Wales they just don't like using those, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thomas Reiser says he might disappear because he's getting a little bit tired. So if you disappear,
we're making him sleepy.
So, Lori Sims, thanks. I'll look them up. NOLA and Savannah are two of the few places in the U.S. on my list of places to go. Savannah would be cool. I've never been.
I've
there
actually
either.
not been to either of those places either. I really wanted to go to New Orleans this year when we were contemplating a road trip. And then things were a little... We didn't know about Louisiana, so we ended up not doing that road trip.
And got bad here.
Well, it didn't swap. It's still bad there. It's still bad in the U.S.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so Thomas Rider says Kent is one of my favorite places in the UK. Yeah, it's pretty nice down there.
Mm-hmm.
And Dover, super worth going to, checking it out. Don't just drive through Dover. Very much worth it. Mom, Darlene Zacarias, good afternoon from Lawrenceburg.
Hi, Darlene. Welcome. How's everything in Lawrenceburg? Let us know.
Thank you for joining.
How's Lexi?
Hopefully she's doing well. Roger Sexton, Oyster cards are not being discontinued. The problem in Britain is other cities do not have the equivalent to Oyster cards. Outside London, each transport operator has its own ticket system. Interesting. Paul Tipton, NOLA was the first place I researched for visiting in the USA. Still not been yet.
Yeah.
Gotta get there.
I also
Me
feel
too.
like every time I look to go to New Orleans, the hotel prices are so high. I wonder if anybody has any like secrets about saving money on hotels or Airbnbs there, other than book really far in advance. Just because we're not really, we're usually not in a position to book something really far in advance. I'm sure that is tip number 1. But if you have tip number 2 about how to how to save money, that would be really, really helpful for us.
Mary Ellen is saying she also runs cold. And Thomas Reiser, you just confirmed that it was the same place. I don't know what
can't remember
that is.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, Purdue says, I've tried to use a £5 and at another time a £10 paper note after the plastic notes came out, and they had to go exchange them at Barclays for the plastic notes. Very strange.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened with me when I had to go exchange it at the bank.
Yeah. So, Vigabani, November is next week. Makes me think. Time flies even when you're not having fun. Traveling is my fun thing I look forward to, and I miss it.
I feel you, Bonnie.
Yeah, we feel you, Bonnie.
Yeah, in November, I guess happy Halloween, early Halloween to all of you guys. I remember like a couple months ago, we were saying, oh, let us know what we should do for Halloween in the UK and stuff. And now we're like,
can't do anything in the UK.
Let's just like lay low and maybe I'll be a leopard.
Or a leper. You just be lepers. Don't see anybody.
Leper is not a recluse. It's like,
but they were like
just
ostracized.
True, but
because they had leprosy.
Yeah, they were ostracized. Yeah.
It's like their nose would fall off.
Yikes.
All right, so Ruth Armstrong says, I've been watching on the Great Room TV all morning and only now went to my laptop to give you a hey and a thumbs up.
Hi, Mom.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, both moms are on. What a treat. This is nice. Thank you for the hey and thumbs up. Appreciate it.
So, Lori Sims, I agree, Vegabani. Travel is a way for me to rebalance my life.
Yeah.
And Bonnie says, I always had a countdown on my last trip. Now I'm just counting down. Okay, Mrs. K, what car rental company did you use for long-term rentals? The least expensive I can find is Avis's long-term program. Auto Europe has double the price. Avis is what we are using.
We are using Avis, and we are renting an automatic.
Which
have
is
to
more
specify.
expensive.
Unless you know how to drive a manual, which if you do, like, awesome.
Yeah. I wish we did.
The cheapest cars here are always manuals, and we always have to pay so much more.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we rented our car from London City Airport, and we
tried to get the
lowest one.
The smallest automatic that they would carry.
Like the economy automatic, like whatever the equivalent of that is. We show up,
and they
handed us this big folder that's like, you've been upgraded, and we're like, okay.
No, we don't want to be upgraded.
And we're like, we don't want an upgrade, which we always tell people, don't take the upgrade.
So we went out, we looked at the car, because if it's only just like a class where it's like, oh, instead of like a Volkswagen, they gave us like a Mercedes, we'd be like, cool. But instead it was like, oh, we got like a Citroen C5, which is like a decent size SUV.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh no, that seems big for where we're going, which is like Cornwall and the North Coast 500 and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
so
like super narrow hedgerows.
Yeah, hedgerows and all this kind of stuff. So I go in and I'm like, I don't think that car's gonna work. We're gonna be driving in a lot of like rural areas. We need the smaller car.
And of course it's white too.
And it's white and pristine.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my god, any scratches are gonna be like super noticeable. So I go in and I do that, and he comes out with me, and he's like, listen, I don't have anything smaller. Like that's it.
So basically, like, and Derek always, because I get angry, and like I wanted to be like, wait, so we rented a car that you don't even have, but Derek wasn't allowing me to get angry at him.
No, I was just like, fine, whatever, we'll call. And it's been fine, actually, because it actually has a lot of safety features, which he had pointed out to us. He's like, listen, like, you know, if you had gotten the smaller one, it wouldn't have, like, the backup camera. It wouldn't have had this, and this. And when I heard that, I was kind of like, well, if that's true, I don't know if it's, maybe that's a lie, but if it's true, I'm like, I do want those things for while we're here.
It has like lane assist and
it has
stuff.
lane assist and all this stuff, which can actually be problematic on some of these like really tight roads where if you're trying to hug more like the middle lane a little bit more, it'll try to like correct you off, and that can just be like really disconcerting when you're on a super narrow lane with like a hedge wall on your left hand side that like if you run into that you're like crushing your car, because it's not like a bush, it's like an earthen wall type of thing. So yeah, it's a little bit different. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So that was kind of our long-winded way of saying, like, if you are renting from Avis, it will be the best, like, cheapest option for long-term rental, but try to, like, actually communicate with them if you can in advance and say, like, I want a small car because I'm going to be driving in, like, narrow lanes, and like, what do you have? Because we kind of regret not doing that, but otherwise it's been fine. We named our car Olaf because it's big and white. I did, at least.
She named it.
And so, you know, sometimes we have to talk to Olaf and be like, please get us through this hedgerow.
It's more like Eliz talks to the car. She's like very nervous with me as a driver. She's like,
oh my gosh, the first few days I was so nervous. But I've gotten a little bit more used to it, I think.
First few days, the last few days, whatever. You know.
But anyway.
Hey, we got Canadian.
Hi, Mark. And oh my gosh, wait. Hi, Bonnie. Thank you so much. So for those of you guys who were not on when we had some really good, like our first what is it called? Super chats. We were like, what should we do? We should start a trend. And so Derek's like, let's do the wave. And so now every time we get a super chat from somebody, we're doing the wave.
Which is always fun. All right, so
every time I just am laughing. Okay,
Vega
so Bonnie says,
what's the most picturesque place you've been to on this trip? First thing that comes to your mind. Just try to be super chat.
Thank you, Bonnie, by the way. That's so sweet of you to do that. My most picturesque place was probably Tintagel Castle. It was like stunningly beautiful. I've also really liked the harbor in Weymouth, and and we liked Dover.
Yeah, keep going.
What about you?
I would actually say Weymouth is pretty awesome. Like, Weymouth was awesome. God, we got another one. There's going to be a lot of waves.
You guys are so funny.
Thank you so much.
We're answering. Okay, answer.
Okay,
and we'll do
so I actually really loved Weymouth. I actually just went on and I downloaded all the pictures from there, and I was going through and editing them, and like the canal areas and whatnot are just beautiful. Weymouth is on the Dorset coast. It's a city on a little peninsula by like Portland, the Isle of Portland, and I thought that was pretty phenomenal. And the like Dirtle Door and everything.
Dirtle Door was great.
And
the southern coast of Isle of Wight too. I wanted to add. That was great.
Everywhere we've been has been awesome.
But Dirtle Door was awesome too.
Okay, wait. So Mark Walters.
Thanks, Mark. And then Chris. Oh my gosh.
Actually, I think Chris gets 2.
Yeah, Chris gets 2 because he's done the most so far.
Yeah. So
thank you guys so much. You guys are all awesome. Thank you so much for the super chats.
Thank you.
And if you have questions that you want us to answer too, we can do that.
Shoot them our way. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to choose, though, on the picturesque places because there really have been a lot. And down here on the coast, there's just so many, like, different, like, chalk cliffs and natural formations along the coast that have been great. Non-coastal, I would say that Aylesford.
You loved Aylesford. Derek fell
We
in
were
love
there
with
for a
this
minute.
town.
We were there
Yeah.
for like 5 minutes. We didn't do anything except for park the car, probably illegally, and run out to like take one picture. But my God, it was beautiful. Like there
Derek
on that
wanted
river.
to stay. It was
I wanted
beautiful,
to stay longer,
but it was not, like, to me, it wasn't a place that
Yeah.
I would be like, okay, I'm spending a day here or anything like that. But it was a cool stop, for
Yeah.
sure. A lot of those little towns in Kent were really,
Yeah.
really nice.
Ainsford, Aylesford. I mean, I wish we had gone to like Leeds Castle. That's supposed to be awesome. Heavener Castle is over there, which is where Anne Boleyn was born. There's a lot of stuff down there that is pretty neat. And Canterbury is also within Kent, and that's where like Canterbury Cathedral is, and it's very beautiful over there.
And so what's funny is Derek was saying, well, things that are not on the coast, and he chose that. I feel like everywhere we've gone so far has been very coastal, and so we are looking forward to this coming week where we're going to be heading towards Bristol and going to Bath and to the Cotswolds, because those we have been to before, but are like top places to visit in the UK for sure. So going backwards for a second.
Hey,
Hi,
Mark.
Mark. Hi, Jocelyn. Welcome.
Hi, Eliz and Derek, and all you cool travelers. Hi, Mark. Okay.
And then he said, waiting for the commercials to play through before you can hear. You're the best.
All right, so Eric B says, I've seen some nice AirBNBs in NOLA for good price, and hotels can be a little bit pricey at times.
Yeah. Okay. We'll have to start, like,
Checking it out.
figuring out our... Because, I mean, this coming spring, if we travel again, we'll probably do it a little bit more domestically this time.
Yeah. Sure.
Lexi is good, but she misses us. She
Hey,
keeps
there we
looking
go.
downstairs for us. Lexi, we miss you too. We're stuck in the computer. Help us.
That's great. All right, sorry. Mark is saying, hi, Mary Ellen and Purdue and Eric B. and Thomas and Vega Bonnie. Okay, cool. Vega Bonnie says, at Walter's Road, hello, Grand Poobah of Travel. I like that. And Paul is asking him if he recovered from the mimosas. You were having a good time. That's nice. Oh, I love this. This sounds like
you know
went
what's
on a
really
trip,
good?
actually.
Mark, by the way, I just want to comment about the mimosas. Grapefruit juice mimosas are really good. I love those.
Yeah. Mark is doing what I would do, which is cleaning up for Jocelyn's return.
Nice.
And trying to get a video out today, so editing while listening. Big hugs, guys. Well, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. And yeah, I saw that Jocelyn's on like a ladies' wine weekend. It looked really fun.
Derek with the more expensive comment under his breath. I feel a bit of frustration there.
What were you do? What did you say that to?
Oh, the automatic versus.
Oh yeah. It's always more expensive.
Paul Tipton says Sinclair C5. I don't know what that is.
Maybe it's an automatic that we should have rented.
Probably. Purdue says Hertz gave us a Mercedes E-Class diesel, no difference / cost for an upgrade in 2017, and we loved it. But it was a bit big for B roads and some of the car parks, but very nice.
Yeah. That's another thing. It's just parking. I've had to get out and like help Derek into spots and help him out of spots. Even when we were like, we parked at I think it was like St. Ives or something like that, and it was very tight. And like, not only did I have to get out to help him park, but just because like it would have been hard for me to get out generally, and I'm small, like so.
It's definitely been tighter spaces.
Yeah.
So that can be a bit much, especially if it's like a pretty full car park.
Chris Frank says, being an introvert, I like being by myself is not a problem, but being a Sagittarius, I really miss traveling.
Nice. Nice.
Megan's a Sagittarius.
Bonnie says, sorry, it's just Canadian dollars, not worth getting that excited about. That's funny. And then Mark and Chris.
But Chris,
you guys.
I think that's, sorry, Chris Frank, I just want to say, like, being an introvert while traveling is also a really cool way to, like, even if you just want to people watch and stuff and you enjoy people watching, I think that you can still experience a lot of culture from that. And so I feel like there are people out there that get a little bit nervous about traveling because they're introverts. And I hope that, you know, we can all come together and encourage folks that, like, just even if you're a little bit more shy, you can absolutely navigate your way through. And there's tools that you can even use on your phone and stuff to help you out if you don't feel comfortable, like asking people for directions on the street, or you know, you can use Google Translate to translate things for you.
Yeah. Thanks for the wave.
I love the wave emojis.
Wave emoji. Nice. And she asks, are the Yorkshire Dales on your itinerary? They look amazing, but kind of off the beaten path for Americans. They would be, but
I think
Yorkshire
is in tier 2 and 3.
Yeah, they're pretty high up there in terms of the COVID stuff, so we're probably going to avoid that this time. We had wanted to stay in York and check out that part of the country on our way up to the Lake District, I think. And
Mark Walters on Walters World has a great video about York, and we've wanted to go and just love watching all of his content about York. And Yorkshire is just a beautiful area in general, and it's like neither of us have been, and we definitely wanted to go.
Yeah.
But we are making a lot of concessions on this trip.
Yeah. We're just being flexible, and actually,
based on the tiers.
At the end of the day, though, the flexibility and the you know, there's a little bit of a freedom that it's allowed us, where because it's a limited some places from us going to, it's made so we get to stay longer in certain places.
Yeah.
And go, I think, a little bit deeper and see a little bit more of Cornwall, see a little bit more of the Lake District, etc. So that's kind of nice at the end of the day. Iggy Manana.
Hi, Iggy. Welcome
Hello
back.
from Torredon Jimeno. Any plans for Scotland, Northern Ireland in the near future?
Scotland, yes.
Yes, Scotland. We're hoping to go there after the Lake District. The idea is that we'd want to go up to the Highlands, maybe head up straight into Inverness, and then from there...
We might go to the border areas of Scotland first, because my maiden name's Armstrong, and the Armstrong clan is from the border area, and then Derek's family is from Ayrshire, and so we would love to be able to go visit kind of those regions as well, which we never really prioritize on other trips, because going south from Glasgow and Edinburgh is just not as picturesque as going north. So it'd be cool to be able to do that. But certainly we want to make it to the Highlands after that, no matter what.
Yeah, what I will say though is that the central part of Scotland, I'm trying to think of what that area is called, but basically Glasgow and Edinburgh are under their strongest lockdowns.
Yeah.
So if those areas are under complete lockdown, we obviously won't go there, and we'll just try to drive straight through up into the Highlands, which is where things are pretty good, and kind of as long as you're kind of outside of Aberdeen, I think it's pretty decent once you get north of Aberdeen.
Mm-hmm. Northern Ireland, we really wanted to go to it on this trip because neither of us have
Mo, we were looking to go hang out with Mo for a little bit.
Mo's going to be back soon. But we really wanted to go visit Mo. We wanted to visit Northern Ireland generally. Because
I've never been on Ireland.
We've been to Wales, Scotland, and England in the past. Both of us have gone. But neither of us have been there. So it was pretty sad when we learned that they were doing the lockdown.
But if things get a little bit better there, we will go to Northern Ireland definitely while we're here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Purdue says Google Translate is not good for the Cockney rhyming slang. Apple and pears, Bob's your uncle.
That is super true.
That's funny.
And as I was editing our London vlog video, our cabbie totally had a Cockney accent, and I didn't quite pick up on it when we were with him in person, but then when I was editing things, I was like, whoa.
I definitely got it.
Yeah, he unfortunately I had to cut a lot of the cab ride out just for length, but you kind of can hear it right when Derek tells him where we're
He was
heading.
great though, because he's a true cabbie, so he drives the black cab in London, so that means he knows where everything is. But he was great because he grew up actually very close to where we were staying down by Tower Bridge. And he grew up in like the council housing down there. And he was saying how when he was younger growing up, it was actually a pretty rough neighborhood down in that area.
He was kind of trying to tell us that it was still rough. But
and he was telling us about
know.
like, just make sure, see that place, that's a council housing area, like don't go back there, like, and kind of giving us some of those tips, which was kind of nice. But what was most helpful from him was actually about driving. And he's like, listen, like if it says 20, go 20. Yeah. Like don't go over, they have cameras, they will send you a ticket. So he's like, if people might get frustrated with you or whatever, let them go around you, pass you, whatever. He's like,
it's not worth the ticket.
He used some colorful language. He's like, F them, they can pass you or whatever. And I'm like, all right, man. Peace. Yes, I like it.
Yeah. So we you can hear Derek took a ton of B-roll from that, but
yes, Lori. Sorry. Keep going.
But I had to cut it all out, so I'm sorry to all you guys. You don't get to hear as much as maybe you would have wanted to.
Okay, so Chris says, I have traveled to many international and domestic destinations by myself, and people watching is great.
That's great.
I'm so glad to hear that. And the whole cafe culture in parts of Europe, like France, Vienna, even Amsterdam and stuff, where you can just like go get a coffee, get a beer, whatever, sit there on the sidewalk and just like watch the people go by is awesome. I love that.
And Paul says he's an introvert too. He doesn't like asking people for directions if he's lost or starting up conversations. It's funny you mentioned that, Paul, because in certain ways I'm an extrovert. Like if I'm at a place where I know at least one person, but if I'm at a place where I'm completely by myself, or I just have not met people, I have a very hard time going up and just starting a conversation. Whereas Derek, Derek and I we both are members of the Global Citizens, what is it called?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The Chicago Council on Global Affairs. Is that what it's called? Okay.
Yes.
The Chicago Council on Global Affairs, and they have these events that are supposed to be for networking for the young members and stuff. And one time, Derek and I were supposed to meet there, but Derek was running like an hour late. And
I don't think it was that late. I mean, maybe it was that late.
Yeah, it was because you were stuck at work.
Yeah.
And so I went by myself, and I just have such a hard time just walking up to somebody and talking to them. And this happens when I travel by myself, or just traveling in general. But if I have Derek with me, even if I just have somebody else, then I become an extrovert all of a sudden. So it's funny. I feel like there's this spectrum, and I read a book several years ago called Quiet, and it's all about this. Like somebody actually studied introverts, and that it's not just like you are one or the other. There is an in between as well, and that's what I think I am.
I mean, I'll go up and talk to
people.
I mean, it kind of depends, though. Domestically, I'm a lot less likely to, like Lori was saying. So in the U.S., I'm a lot less likely if I'm at like a bar to go up and just like talk to somebody. I'm not like, because I have her. I don't need to go talk to no ladies.
No, you
but
don't.
Here, I'm more than happy to like talk to like a group of people. Like, hey, what's up? What's good?
But of course, nobody's talking to each other now.
Now, yeah, no.
At least where we go,
No.
I'm sure there's places where people are talking to each other.
This time, no, we're not talking to anybody. But typically in Europe, I'm much happier to speak with people, try to strike up conversations, and meet people abroad. Because at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm never gonna see them again.
I'm not.
If I make a fool out of myself, most likely, never seeing that person ever again.
Yeah.
In Chicago, I might be like, that might be a client. Like that would suck. It's like make a fool out of myself,
When we're in public, it's kind of like. On this particular trip, I'm very wary of sounding too American as well, because you just there's such a
looks,
there's such a like why are you here situation that we just don't want to have to get into it too, like and become over like if somebody's is bound to ask us why we're here, and then they might have an opinion about it. So
okay, so Vegabani is saying, speaking of Yorkshire, they have had Yorkshire. Have you had Yorkshire pudding yet? Which is, of course, not pudding. What is pudding? This is my biggest pet peeve.
We have not. No. Derek got another sticky toffee pudding this week, though.
Yeah, it was from, it was like Marks and Spencer. It wasn't anything, like, crazy great. But I will
still good.
say it was still tasty, very sugary. I want a sticky toffee pudding though from like a restaurant.
But no, you guys, we still have not had Yorkshire pudding.
So we haven't had a Sunday roast.
Yeah, we haven't had a Sunday roast because we talk to you guys on Sundays. And, and now I guess we're gonna go to a
We're gonna go to a Thai restaurant after this because we wanted something non-British today. But yeah, no, one of these Sundays we will go get Sunday roast, and we'll have Yorkshire pudding. It'll be great.
Yeah.
So that was Baggy T. Hello, all. Be dipping in and out on the chat.
Hi, Baggy
Like
T.
button hit. Thank you, sir. We appreciate
Thanks, Sam.
it.
And also thank you, Mark. Yes, don't forget to hit the like button, everybody. We really appreciate it, and it tells YouTube that this is a really fun chat.
Yeah.
So that's an extra bonus to do it.
So what I was responding to earlier though was Lori saying I'm not much more comfortable. I am much more comfortable approaching strangers as an international solo traveler than here in the USA. So that's what I was saying is I definitely feel that way as well. All right, Purdue. Hey, tell us your thoughts on Emily in Paris.
We never finished it.
We haven't finished it yet, but I like it so far.
Yeah, Derek and I think watched the first 5 episodes.
It's like a light aperitif.
Yeah, it's fun. I think
she's a little stylish for how they like make her sound. I think.
Yeah,
I think she should be dressed.
I kept saying I feel like she should be wearing Ann Taylor with the way the French are treating her. Yeah. Like, and instead she's definitely wearing still like designer clothes.
Yeah,
so
super high end fashion stuff, and it's like, really? Because I don't feel like that's right.
And Ann Taylor, actually, I like Ann Taylor. It's just more of the fact that like
Eliz, like she should be dressed like me for the way they're acting.
Yeah, she's wearing like mini skirts still and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't understand. That part I guess is lost in translation for me. But the whole it's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun show. Yeah. It's fun to watch.
It's a little Paris. Unrealistic, but it's fun.
We love Paris, so like going to Paris is awesome, and watching that since we can't go to Paris now is that little bit of like vicarious travel and stuff. So we get to see it, which is nice. I will say, as somebody who has spent a lot of time and effort on Instagram, her like just meteoric rise to Instagram fame by like posting a picture of her in a croissant, like.
Derek like takes offense to that.
Like, that makes no sense.
He's like offended. He's like, I can't believe that she would have gained like 10,000 Instagram followers just from one post.
That's so frustrating for me. But otherwise, yes,
that's
it's
the
very
story.
nice.
That's the story.
She's Emily in Paris.
Yep. Yeah. There's this one girl that I'm connected with from Chicago, and she had a really, really great comment about it. So her handle is Milano to Chicago, and she's an Italian
she's awesome,
who moved to Chicago. And she's like, yeah, when I first saw the concept of Emily in Paris, it's like, oh, girl from advertising moves from one country to another and creates an Instagram account. How basic. And then she's like, then I realized that's exactly me. And I was like, oh, that's funny. That's great. Yeah.
But the whole thing is like, it doesn't seem like she's putting a lot of effort into like her like social. It's like she's like, that's the thing that I don't get, because as a marketing
you're so sad about this.
No, well, it's the most unrealistic part of it is that she's just like snapping a quick pic, posting it, and like growing. But like even like the people who do more like their own personal stuff, where their brand is themselves, right? With travel, they're spending time on it. Like they're actually like, it's a concerted effort. It's not like an accident. You don't like trip into it.
People who truly post like those magazine quality photos of themselves on Instagram it could be like a 40-hour a week thing, with just scouting out locations, getting all the lighting, editing the shoot, then editing the photos, creating the caption, researching the best ways to do all of the metadata. It's tough. It's tough.
So Eric B is taking off. Got to run, guys.
Eric.
Happy to be your first super chat.
Thank you so much.
Have a great one, everyone.
You're the
Thank
best.
you, Eric.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Bye-bye. And then, thanks, Mary Ellen, for the like. Mrs. K says, speaking of having an American accent, have you encountered any criticism or hate while traveling? We answered this question, I think last week too.
But, I mean, something happened since then.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a new story for those of you who are still on. But before, I would say that we had a little bit of, like, what was it? What did we get before the thing this week?
It was like belligerent on the street. It wasn't.
Oh, yeah. There's just like a guy who kind of like overheard me helping Derek into a parking spot and was like, "This is my country." But like whatever, I just completely didn't respond to him.
Yeah.
And then this week we were at a restaurant and somebody must have heard us come in because it was a small restaurant, and we asked for a table, and she must have like heard our accents, and it was a whole kind of like weird scenario where it was the day after the debates, and she starts like loudly talking to the waitress about the debates, and then turns to us and is like, "So sorry if you're American," and we're like, "We are, but whatever, it's okay," and she's like, "God, I hate your politics," and we're like, "Okay, well, we're not part of those, so." And then she just kind of kept going, so it was just really awkward, and we just kept trying to like shut it down, but finally maneuvered our way out of that scenario. And then okay, so Bonnie's saying, "I'm wondering where Emily in Paris is storing all of those clothes." Yeah, so Parisian closets are super small. So I completely agree with you. It's she must have brought over some Container Store stuff or something. Mo's back. Welcome, Mo. Thanks so much for coming back, and he's back home, so I hope you had a great time.
Well, I think that was one of the jokes though in Emily in Paris is like she got the massive like inflow of like packages.
Yeah.
And she took, and the guy's like, "There's a lot of stuff. Oh, just a few necessities."
Yeah.
It was like 5 things of peanut butter that had exploded.
But Bonnie was saying for like the clothes and everything, where to store it. Is Emily in Paris a TV show? Yes.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix though, so you can only access it there. And her producer flat was huge. Yeah, I think they've gotten a little bit of criticism about that on the show, where it's
to be fair,
a very unrealistic flat.
Corporate housing or something like that.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I don't think she had set it up. I think her boss had set it up in advance.
Oh, okay.
So from my perspective, it was probably like...
For the boss, who is...
I think it was like a 1-year gig is probably corporate housing.
That makes sense.
My guess. It's not like Friends, where you're like, that apartment doesn't exist in New York for these people.
Yeah, I don't know. That must be a really successful chef that lives below her.
That is true. That is true. But it was really nice and huge and stuff. But my favorite thing was like the real estate agent being like, "Oh, and over there."
Yeah.
And it was like such that like French dude being like, "Dude, what are you doing?"
James Layton says, "You work in marketing, small world, copywriter here. My wife is American, hence the interest in travel." Yeah, very
cool.
Nice. I worked at ad agencies for 8 years, and now I do more of just like my own thing. And my degree is in marketing, marketing and international business.
Yep. So when Mark starts talking about the 5 C's, is it the C's? P's? 5 P's? 4 P's?
Oh God.
13 T's.
Now you're like just confusing me.
What
I
is
think
it?
I think it's the 4 C's and 5 P's.
Oh, it is? There's both of those?
Yeah.
Product, price,
place, promotion.
Okay.
Oh, maybe it's 4 P's.
I think it's the 4 P's.
5 C's. Okay.
What are
Mark,
the 5 C's?
help.
Mark, it's been too long.
Aaron says, yeah, corporate housing for Emily in Paris. Thank you, Aaron. Okay. It sounds like everybody's watched this show. We should have like a watch party live stream. If only it wasn't like the Netflix thing and it always aired at the same time.
So it's funny, Purdue's saying people can lend you their Netflix credentials. It's allowed. But it's a bit of brainless fun show. It is. It really is. It's product, place, price, promotion are the traditional 4 Ps. Thank you, Mark.
I said it.
But yeah, it's a very much a brainless,
people.
fun. It's like reading a romance novel on the beach, right? It's just a fun thing to do. I'm more of like historical fiction or something like that. It's like, just something just fun and brainless and something to do.
And it's giving a lot of people who have that travel lust right now an outlet, which is much needed for sure. And because we're all missing Paris. Like, we're traveling right now and we miss Paris. I think I've been to Paris, like, I don't know. I mean, it's been a lot over the past few years. And yeah, we didn't get to go at all in 2020.
Purdue, carrot cut, clarity, and something diamonds. Color. You're thinking the 4 C's is color, cut, clarity, and carrot. Which you learn a lot about when you're about to get engaged. I learned so much. I watched YouTube videos. I did it all. It was great.
You crushed it. I didn't even bring my engagement ring here because we just don't travel with expensive jewelry. Okay, wait, I got lost.
People get added sometimes as the 5th one.
Yeah.
Sometimes. The 5th P. Cool. All right, Mrs. K, thank you so much for all the info. Signing off for now, but we'll be following. Stay safe.
Great.
Thanks, Mrs. K.
Hope to see you next Sunday. And we are putting out our London travel vlog as well this week and our Travel Tip Tuesday. So for those of you guys who have just joined, that's kind of what's on the docket for the next week. And hopefully you guys tune back in for everybody who's new on Sundays because we love having all these people on.
All right, so Blaine, Rayleigh Creative Travel is here. Hey, just wanted to say hey and be safe.
Thanks, Blaine.
Thanks, Blaine.
And Blaine was on earlier, but I don't know if he just joined back in again. But it's really, really fun to have him.
All right, so Bonnie is saying, did you go to Broadchurch? Haha, I know that's not the real name of the place. I don't know what Broadchurch is.
Neither do I.
And
I've heard of it because I think it's a TV show, ?
Hello, Glenn Camp.
Hi, Glenn. I think Glenn was the one that wanted us to put out more travel vlogs, so it's coming. Glenn.
The next one's coming.
We're getting
super
there.
Soon. All right, I'm looking at Broadchurch.
Okay.
Broadchurch. British drama chair. Blah.
Yeah.
British drama series.
I thought it was a TV show. Anyway, so we were going to be talking. Yeah, it's a TV show, according to Paul.
It's in Dorset.
Oh. Well, we were in Dorset. Small town on the coast of England. Broadchurch is a police procedural with David Tennant.
I do like David Tennant. So it's on ITV and was primarily filmed on the Jurassic Coast, which we went to, Harbour Village of West Bay, Dorset.
Cool. So we were probably pretty close to it, at least where they film. And then we definitely we went to Port Isaac, which is where Doc Martens filmed in Cornwall.
Yep.
And they had like all these Doc Marten tours. And you know what's funny? So I've seen all the Doc Marten episodes, but I hadn't watched it in years. And we get there and I'm like, oh my gosh, this really is the town. Like, I was wandering around, I'm like, that's the doctor's surgery. That's the fish store. That's the pharmacy. Yeah. And I was like, wow, like I really am in the set. It was incredible. It was cool.
So Gareth was asking you if there are any places that you'd remember from Doc Marten. So he says, haha, great minds.
Nice, Gareth, yeah.
James Layton says, pudding, pizza, Pepsi, and peanut M&Ms for the 4 Ps. Those sound delicious to me. And Mark is saying, Broadchurch is a police procedural with David Tennant. Very nice.
Yeah. Okay, so we wanted to talk about differences with AirBNBs and hotels that we've experienced. We've kind of been saying them as we go a little bit. But one thing I do want to add is with AirBNBs specifically, I feel like every time we've checked in, there's been a lot more cleaning supplies and like a bigger stash of those than we experienced in previous trips. Just to be able to keep everything sanitary and clean throughout. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I guess. A little bit more on the cleaning supply side, but
and then each time we've checked in, the host has been there. It hasn't been like a completely contactless one, but they've been wearing masks, and we keep a very good social distance the entire time too. So they can show us around and everything like that. But it's, a little bit less like personal than maybe we've experienced in the past. We don't mind it. We'd rather be safe, but just a quick note on that.
Yeah. So, all right. So my whole thing though is less about like what is it now versus what it typically would be, and just talking a little bit about Airbnb, hotels, and I guess
Bed and
B&Bs,
breakfast.
like guest houses here in the UK. So, pros and cons. Each one has a different pro and con. I would say that I have found that they've all been acceptable from my perspective on places to stay. If we were looking to stay in a place for more than 3-ish days, I would definitely say Airbnb makes the most sense from an economical standpoint. You also just tend to have more space and whatnot, but at the same time, you don't know what you're going to get from the perspective of like internet. For instance, the place that we stayed at, Cornwall, while it was nice from like it was big, had a lot of space. The lighting was sometimes not great, especially at night, but the Wi-Fi was real bad. So
The Wi-Fi worked for like FaceTime, so if all you're needing to do really is FaceTime your family, that would be fine.
it would not work for something like this.
Yeah.
And like uploading
Like
stories to Instagram even
Right.
took forever. And so
Right.
that's actually why I fell so far behind in Cornwall, was that trying to use the Wi-Fi for it was like very difficult.
And when you're out and about in Cornwall, there's such little cell phone service
Yeah.
that it's not like you can update your Instagram or stories or anything as you go. So we were just kind of out of luck.
Yeah.
Like,
which is why I need to, do it here actually and catch up, is that, I fell so far behind. But what I would say is that, from an Airbnb perspective, I do like when they have the self check-in with like an electronic lock or something like that, where you go and you put in the code and then you pull out the key and then you're done. That's pretty nice. Look for places that, are clear on, what they expect from like a checkout perspective, because, the beauty of like a guest house or the beauty of a hotel is that you pack up your stuff and you leave and you're done. If you're staying at an Airbnb, you always need to think about what are the checkout procedures. So what do you have to clean? What are you responsible for? Some of that stuff is a little bit different. The last place we were in, we got in, it was super clean, which was great, but they do say, please leave it in the way that you found it, because we don't charge a cleaning fee. So we definitely like cleaned it up a lot more than we typically would before we left, because we obviously want to be conscientious. I think because of COVID, they're still going in and probably like bleaching everything after we left.
They're definitely doing that.
But that it was one of those things where you still wanted to leave it in much nicer shape than maybe a typical hotel room.
And I just want to piggyback on that. So another piece about cleanliness is that you'll see as you're looking at reviews, trying to decide whether to stay at a place, the people reviewing now are talking about how clean places are.
And that's being promoted heavily on Airbnb, where it'll say like 5 out of 5 for cleanliness, and that'll like pop up to the top.
So the place that we stayed at in Cornwall, people, one person wrote like, there's
clean,
there's COVID clean, and then there's this place. And I was like, okay, sold. So, I mean, it's just interesting how the priorities have changed, where like, for us, even for example, like maybe we will go to a place that, doesn't have dishwasher or dryer, hair dryer, in exchange for the fact that we get like a super clean place. Yeah.
So Glenn asked a good question, which is, do you ask the Airbnb contact to give you the speed parameters for the Wi-Fi before you arrive? Yes.
Yes, and
typically
we mentioned that as like a pro tip, if you are needing to do work, or as Mark said, which I didn't even think about saying, is if you're traveling with your kids and they need to do like online school or something like that. I have reached out to every single place before we have booked, and most of the hosts do not know the answer at first, which is surprising. and they've always been like, oh, I'll have to go look or something like that. And so I recommend if that's really important, which like when we booked our first place for the place we stayed at for a month in Portsmouth, that we were quarantined, like it was so important that we had a high speed internet, that we like waited probably almost like several days before she could get back into the house and run a speed test, in order to press book on the place. With all of these places that we're staying at moving forward, the people come back and say like, oh, well, we've never had anybody complain about it, or people have run FaceTime calls here and it's been fine. But it's just you do kind of like, if you really need that upload speed, for example, like say you work on PowerPoint decks and you need to upload them to the cloud and access your share drive with a huge team or something like that, then like you are going to need good upload speeds and not just like the ability to run FaceTime calls and stuff like that, like even higher level internet service. And so you just need to have that dialogue for sure.
Now, I will say this place, for instance, it has really great speeds. Like we ran a speed test today before we got onto this, and it's like really nice from that perspective. So, I think that there's a lot of good things with hotels. A lot of times you'll get better Wi-Fi, typically, because they cater to a lot of business travelers. So they need to be able to go on and work on their business stuff on their laptops and whatnot. So that's great from a hotel perspective. It is also nice to know that like you come in and there's a minimum standard in a hotel in terms of bed and bed quality. So when you stay in a Hilton or a Hampton by Hilton hotel, you know kind of what you're getting before you come, which is nice. It eases the mind a little bit. And this bed's super comfortable. The pillows, like Eliz said, her pillows were a little big, mine were a little short. We actually just rectified that. She now has my pillow. I have her pillow. It's great. So
Paul,
there's definitely major pros and cons to each one. I would say that Airbnb is good if you plan to make your own lunches, make dinners, things like that. Hotels, I'm more likely to go to if we're staying like a city. So if we're staying rural, I would say like in the Lake District, Airbnb is great because then you can cook dinner, cook lunches, take sack lunch with you on a hike, things like that. Much easier. If you're staying in Bristol, then maybe more of like a hotel, because you want to maybe go out to dinner.
Although we are staying at an Airbnb.
But we're staying at an Airbnb in Bristol. But I was pushing for the hotel for a while, but we're doing an Airbnb. It's fine. So it kind of depends. And then guest houses are a really great thing that can be nice in smaller towns where there's not a big hotel community. So in Dover, there's not a lot of like big hotels. So what we ended up staying at was the Churchill Guest House, which was really nice.
In fact,
super
in all
nice.
Of Kent, like if you want to stay at a chain hotel, you're going to be at like the Premier Inn.
Yeah,
there's not a ton of options. So really, it's Airbnb or guest house.
And so the guest houses, there's a ton of options. We found one that we really enjoyed in Dover. The one in Weymouth we liked a lot, despite, it had some shortcomings in terms of size and whatnot. It was very small.
But they did a great job at, being COVID friendly.
Yeah.
Which we were pleased about.
And, also part of the thing about staying at like a guest house or an actual B&B is, the personality of the owners and the, how they kind of run the place and stuff. And they're super pleasant and very nice and all that stuff. So that, made the stay a little bit more special. They gave us like Dorset apple cakes and stuff. Yeah. They're very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So just there's trade-offs right now. We've had great experiences overall at all of our accommodations. Like some of them don't have all of the amenities, and so we've had to make trade-offs. But there hasn't been a place that we've walked into and been like, we cannot stay here. Or, if we're in it, for example, like at the breakfast this morning and there's a huge line of people, we just make sure that we're socially distancing ourselves. Bonnie asks a great question to everybody in the chat. So if you guys are on, you should answer her because that would be a fun thing to hear from everybody. She says, question for the chat, what's everyone's favorite country to travel to? I have to go with France if I could only pick one country. Yeah, you gotta give me one of these. What's your favorite country?
Whichever one has you in it.
Oh man, great answer. That's a good one.
I don't know. That's hard. That's a difficult question to answer.
I love France. I love Scotland. We had a great time in Uruguay.
I can't answer that question.
We've had great times in Canada, Bonnie. I don't know.
Yeah, Canada's great too. All right, so if I had to pick,
Spain, yeah. Glenn says he loves Sevilla.
yeah, I was gonna go with maybe Spain. I like Spain because it's massive. It is a big country. Landmass wise, culturally very interesting. There's very diverse regions within it. Valencia, Galicia, Andalusia, etc. There's all the islands. There's not just like the European history, but there's the Islamic history as well, especially in the south and like Cordoba and Granada and whatnot. So there's a lot of diversity down there, which I find very appealing. I like the food. I like tapas. I like bocadillo. I like all that stuff. So I mean, it's hard. I mean, but at the same time, I love Italy. I love the UK. But Spain is probably where I would go for like. If Spain had been open to us, I would have been fighting tooth and claw to get us down there.
Kim says it's hard to choose, but Italy is her favorite. I love going to Italy. The only issue I personally have with it is like, despite the fact that I absolutely love Italian food, the fact that you basically can only get Italian food in Italy does get old for me. And that's kind of like why we're going to get Thai food tonight after this, for example. Like, I like to have a little bit of variety in my meals after a little while.
By that she means she wants Asian food.
I love Asian food, but just generally speaking, like with English food, I like English food, but I'm glad to have a quick break from it.
Yeah.
And in Italy, I feel like every time I've gone, I've kind of had that at the end of the trip, where I'm like,
a bit
I
of
could
Italian
really
food, like,
go for just like a Mexican food or Asian food or something.
So the thing with Italian food is that it can get, especially if you have like any sort of like acid reflux or depending on the region, lactose intolerance and whatnot, it can be a little difficult. That said,
what are these? I'm listening.
These are Marks and Spencer caramel bites.
We got snacks to tide us over.
Caramel crisp. These are really good. These are like Rice Krispie treats with caramel dipped in chocolate.
I'm into it.
Anyway. I got them on sale at Marks and Spencer today.
You were saying. Bye, Julia. Thanks for joining.
Bye, Julia. Sorry, I got sidetracked by these yummy things. What was I talking about?
Italian food?
Italian food. So, especially if you're trying to eat seasonal, if you're in a small region, they might have like the tagliatelle del funghi or whatever, because like the mushroom season just happened, so like that's like the thing on every menu. And after eating that like 3 meals straight, you start to get a little bit like, I need something different. Or if you're trying to eat budget and you go to like the pizza places, so a lot of times when we go to Italy, we're like getting a pasta, pizza, and gelato, and that's like all that we're eating for like a week, and that can be a little bit much. But
Thomas,
that's probably
we
partially
still
our fault.
haven't gotten the cookies. Jarek went shopping today, and he didn't get Marks and Spencer's cookies. It's crazy. Anyway, Mark Finley's on.
Hey, Mark.
Hi, Mark. He says he's home and home from church. Afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Mark, for joining. And yeah, so.
And Glenn, goodbye. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Glenn. Sorry that I'm like eating right now, everybody. I just got really hungry.
We have a late dinner, so dinner's in about a little over an hour, so we'll have a little bit of time with you guys. What I would say is that Addie Sneaker Freak, hello. Nice to see you.
Hi, welcome. And Purdue says that he and Mark weren't able to meet up when Purdue was down in the Dallas area. And he took the cold weather from Dallas and bringing it to Indy.
Nice. Iggy is saying, great idea avoiding the big cities. Just yesterday I found 2 diamonds in the rough outside Cordoba, Porcuna, and Baena. Oh, very nice. Cordoba is one of these places that I've actually never been to, even though I studied in Sevilla. It was something that I could have gone to, and I think I like slept through it, or I was in college, whatever. There's a lot still for me to explore in the south of Spain. My favorite place though in Spain was probably Granada. Like the Alhambra is phenomenal and totally worth seeing. It is totally phenomenal.
So Kim M agrees with me about Italian food. I'm glad I'm not like the only person on this planet that gets that way. It's just because, because I love Italian food. It's just the menus are so short. And I remember specifically when we went to Piedmont, which is like pretty rural, small town place. Every single restaurant had the exact same menu. So like, I don't know if they just like season their meat differently or something, but like it was pretty much the same 6 things that you could get at each restaurant. But once you've ordered those 6 things, you're like, now what?
But the wine is freaking awesome.
Oh,
House wine is like, you get a carafe of wine for like €10, and you're like, this is phenomenal.
And the food is delicious.
And the food's
everything
really
is good, but like it just after a week, it just is like, okay.
Yeah.
I could use some Chinese
funny story
takeaway.
is we were in Como, Lake Como with friends, and we actually went and did McDonald's in Como because all of us were a little bit like, we're done with Italian food. Like, there's a Mickey D's. Let's go get a burger, man. Like, we just all needed, like, that reset, which is such a, like, blasphemous thing to say, but we needed it a little bit.
Kim, thank you. Every time it just like it's so funny to watch. Thank you so much for your super chat.
And I really like that.
Yay.
Going like this. It's so much fun.
If you guys ever send us a super chat, feel free to send us a question too. We'll definitely answer it.
Yep, definitely.
But thank you. That's
but in
awesome.
the meantime, we'll do the wave
that.
and that is the most adorable whatever that thing is so great. Make fun with the wave.
For those of you who've just joined, if we get a super chat, we do the wave. That's like the new rule today. So
because we're new to super chats.
And we're probably going to keep this going. Yeah, but you guys have been so much fun for sending us super chats that we wanted to do something fun back.
Yeah. So there was some stuff though.
What's for dinner? Okay, so we're going to Thai food, and I usually get something called pad see ew when I go to Thai restaurants, but this one doesn't seem to have that, so I might get the drunken noodles.
Yeah, but what we were just eating is Marks and Spencer's caramel crispy mini bites.
But the other thing is what I was super excited about, and Derek accidentally dropped most of them on the ground, so we had to throw most of these out.
Millionaire mini bites, which are really good and
so Millionaire
awesome
shortbread
fun.
is like another name for like a caramel shortbread, and you see them on all the coffee houses and stuff around the UK, and it's like a shortbread base and then toffee middle and chocolate on the top. But this week when we were at Tintagel Castle, it went a step further and we went to a gourmet ice cream place there, and it had
tasty.
Millionaire shortbread gourmet ice cream. Oh my
was
gosh, it was
awesome.
mind-blowing. And you know what else is mind-blowing? Mark Finley. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for congratulating us on getting monetized. Yes, obviously Mark Walters helped us out a ton with posting that interview on his channel and getting a lot of new people to be able to discover this place. But it's really fun to have all of you guys here, and thank you so much. Mark's been around supporting our channel for months and months and months, so it's really sweet of you. Thank you.
It's really funny because Eric B was the first one to give us a super chat, and I didn't even realize that was a thing that could happen. And so when it happened, I was like, whoa!
We've seen it, of course, on all the Walters Worlds ones, but we had
really
no expectations.
We really appreciate it, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. We're just happy to have you guys here for,
we'll have to
spend
spend the super chat money on the Marks and Spencer's cookies.
Oh, jeez. Okay. All right, so Elaine says, I just like everywhere. Each village, town, or city has something to offer all around the world, in my opinion. I couldn't pick one, but maybe I could for different activities.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel very strongly that that's true.
That's a great way of putting it, for sure. And of course, like different seasons too, because weather can change your experience in places.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, there are definitely places that, like, in the summertime I would not want to go to.
Right.
Like Sevilla, I wouldn't want to go to Sevilla in, like...
August.
Like, that just sounds horrible to me. But, December, it's freaking awesome.
And thanks, Kim. Have a great day. Yeah, and Thomas says next time get chocolate bites. Oh, man. Yum, yum.
You live, you learn, you love.
Thanks, Lori. She says, really good chat today. Lots of happiness showing. Yeah, I think, so I've been staring at the computer, working on this London vlog for the past day and a half, like almost nonstop. And I think, my slap happiness is showing. But no, we're having a lot of fun. This is a really fun week in the UK for sure.
Yeah.
And we're really looking forward to next week too. When we get to go up and do like the Cotswolds and Bath, and hopefully you guys can follow along on Instagram. I did double check. I think last week is when I mentioned that I thought that I could do YouTube stories now, and the answer to that is still no. I need 10,000 subscribers in order to do that, and we are far from there. But hope, someday. Fingers crossed someday.
But we'll continue to Instagram stories until then. So at Means to Travel, at Mr. Means to Travel.
Instagram stories is where you can find what we're up to each day. And then we're going to be posting our Travel Tip Tuesday this Tuesday. We're going to be posting a London vlog. So hopefully you guys watch that and like that. There is a part where Derek is like by himself filming. So hopefully that'll be a fun one to see. And then there's next Sunday, of course, we're going to be doing our live stream next Sunday from
Lake District.
The Lakes District. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Lake.
The
Singular.
Lake District.
I think it's singular.
I don't
It's
know.
Lake District.
Lakes, Lake. Thomas, help. And yeah, so that'll be fun to check in with you guys next week.
All right, but we had some stuff come up. So, Addie Sneaker Freak says, why does England get a rough ride on the food when I've been? It's always been good.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's like heavy and fried a lot of times. So perhaps if you're not used to that type of meal, or you weren't expecting it, maybe you might not feel it so great. And we have had Derek especially has had a lot of Cornish pasties over the past week. Just putting that out there. He's had a lot of them. And some of them have been better than others.
When in Cornwall, you eat a pasty and you drink a tribute Cornish Pale Ale.
Garrett, thank you. Okay, so it's the Lakes or the Lake District. All right.
There we go. So,
some of your pasties have been better than others.
The food has improved significantly, I think, in the last decade in the UK. Maybe in the last 15 years, especially pubs. So pubs have gotten much better in terms of the types of food that they're serving. They've definitely gone a little bit higher end than they used to be, I think. And so you can still get really nice food at a traditional pub and whatnot. And I've found the food to be pretty nice.
Yeah. Time for a kiss is on. Oh my gosh.
Time for a kiss. Okay, so
Time for a Kiss is always on the Walters World live streams. And
3 worst places
awesome.
you visited. Mine are New York State and City. Ooh, New Jersey and New Hampshire. You don't like those new places.
But New Mexico's okay. No, just
I like
teasing.
New York City. We lived in New York for 8 years. So we're big fans of New York City. But I will say the worst places that we visited.
I did not. Okay, so I don't hate it, but I did not love Turin or Torino in Italy. I feel like I wouldn't necessarily choose to go back there. Like if I had to, I would. And
I thought Turin
it was
fine.
But there was I
wouldn't go back.
Yeah. Are there any other places that we kind of walked away from and we're like, okay, so with Uruguay, I loved Uruguay.
Punta del Este. Yeah.
But I wouldn't necessarily go back and stay in Punta del Este. Maybe I'd go to a restaurant or something if I was feeling fancy. But staying along one of the other beach towns, I think, would be more my style.
Yeah.
And also Montevideo.
Oh, I like Montevideo.
Was okay for like a day, but then I think after a little while, I feel like you'd kind of run out of things to do, and I would recommend getting kind of like out to the coast towns in Uruguay instead. I think when I answered this question a long time ago, I also said Lordsburg, New Mexico. Lordsburg, New Mexico is like basically not the most fun place for me.
Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know that I have, like, a top 3 worst places I've ever been to. I mean, stopping and getting gas in, like, Gary, Indiana is not fun. I wouldn't do that. I mean, avoid Gary. You know, there's things like that I'd maybe say don't go to. But, you know, I think that those are pretty logical ones that people don't just, like, go as tourists.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I would say. Like, most of the places I've been to, I've really enjoyed.
Yeah.
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 But I would agree. Like, Punta del Este, take it or leave it, is kind of a beach town that's way overpriced. So
yeah, it was just because it was overpriced. Like, the experience was fine, but like I ordered a roll of like a salmon avocado sushi roll at a restaurant, and it
$20.
No,
$20
US. It cost $28 US.
$28 US. Yeah, it was crazy.
It was crazy.
Fierce Mice. Lordsburg is great to visit if you have a family that lives there.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean,
okay, so
there's a McDonald's there.
Klaus,
you're into that?
Klaus said something that I don't know if I necessarily agree with. That Milan is a bit boring and not a very Italian feel. Yeah, I mean, I agree with the Italian
feel. We went to Milan
feel.
with another couple.
I liked it,
and we know them both very, very well. I actually introduced them, and the wife said that she had been to Milan before and was telling us, because we went from Lake Como to Milan together, and she was like, you know, I've been to Milan before and I didn't really like it, but we'll have fun because we're with you guys. We get there, and we had tons of fun.
Yeah,
like, and then she was like, I clearly just didn't go to the right places in Milan last time.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those things where
depends on how you do it.
Yeah, it depends what you do. We went to that like area of Milan that's
along the water,
right along the canal, and it was just super fun. Yeah.
No, but what I would say about Milan is Milan's like a very European feel, right? It is one of those places where you could go there and you could be like, this could be any city Europe, right? It could be in. If you told me this place was in Germany or Italy or Spain or whatever, I'd
France.
Whatever. Yeah. Okay. Yes, that's where this is. So I understand what you're saying about not the Italian feel. But at the same time, having gone to Turin prior to Milan, I will say that Milan is a place I would pick over Turin in terms of where to go to.
Yep.
Just for us. And we had a great time.
Yeah.
So.
Addie Sneaker Freak says, Cotswolds, you should go to Broughton on the water. It's really nice. I actually haven't heard of that one, so thank you for the recommendation. I'm going to star that on the map. We've been to Bibury and Chipping Camden, and one other
Castlecombe.
Castlecombe, yeah. But we want to go to new places because there's so many cute little towns.
Although Bibury is considered one of the most picturesque villages in small towns in the UK, according to your book.
Yeah. According to, I think it's a
guidebook.
Yeah, it's either Lonely Planet or Frommer's.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, there's a lot to see in the Cotswolds. The last time we did the Cotswolds, we did it via like a bus tour when we were staying in Bath. And after that, we said we probably would not do that again. So I guess that would be one. I would not do the Cotswolds via a bus tour. And that's because you spend a lot of time on the bus, not really doing much. And you end up having to kind of like go with what everybody else is doing. So we're definitely happy that we have a car this time, so we can actually go and do our pace and like visit the villages we want to visit and spend as much or as little time there as we want. So, that's what I would say.
Okay, I'm clearly not finding the right place because one time it took me to somewhere in near Salisbury, and one time it took me to somewhere near Milton Keynes.
Spelled it.
Did I?
Yes. Burton. B-O-U-R, not B-R-O-U. B-O-U-R. Burton on the water.
Found it.
Spelling.
Spelling's important. All right, save. Want to go. Done. Okay.
All right.
Hopefully we'll get up there. Oh yeah, so it's pretty far into the Cotswolds, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's further south than Chipping Campden, so it's doable.
Yeah. So if you guys have recommendations for when we're in Bristol, which is where we're going to next, Bath or the Cotswolds, please shoot them our way because we're heading there tomorrow and want to know what to do.
And Purdue says UK the food is good, more lamb than I've ever seen. We actually have not seen a lot of lamb on menus so far. I feel like maybe that's like the middle part of the country. But I guess we haven't been to too many restaurants either compared to what we normally would. But we've been in the Cotswolds where it's like a lot of fish, a lot of pasties.
Cornwall.
Oh my gosh, yeah, sorry. We've been to Cornwall.
I was gonna say, I don't think the Cotswolds.
We've not been to the Cotswolds yet. We're going there this week, like we just said. Anyway, so yeah, we've been to like different seafood restaurants because we've been on the coast, which we wouldn't necessarily do on other trips to the UK.
Yeah. Vegabani is not a fan of Turin and Naples. Interesting.
I've heard that about Naples too, where it's you go and you eat your pizza and then you leave. Yeah. But we haven't been.
Lori is saying, big no on bus tours. I agree. More time on the bus than experience time in the place you want to see. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the way that I heard it about like the bus tours in Europe is that what Rick Steves kind of recommends to a lot of people is that if you use it as just a mode of transit, it can actually be super affordable. And you'll actually spend less money on like a big bus tour if you use it like transit than you would on like buses.
Yeah, Rick Steves is promoting that as an option.
He's like, so go on it.
We went with
him. He's like, so just go on it, use it, then go do your own thing once they stop, and then be back on the bus when it goes to the next location. He's like, that can be a way to save some money because a lot of these massive places, what they do is they super undercut the seats on the bus in order to take you places where you then get charged admittance fees, or they'll take you to restaurants and they get kickbacks, and that's how they make a lot of their money. He's like, so if you just go and then you just like go do your own thing and then just literally use like a bus ticket, you can actually save some money. But again, you're then kind of like tied into their schedule, so we'd rather, go drive ourselves.
Yeah. But it is a good way to like learn more and make it more meaningful too, to have a guide explaining to you like all of the things and answering your questions. So if that's what you're into, is like that really educational element to it, then either a bus tour or hiring a personal guide could be a good option.
Yep. Gareth is saying there's a National Trust place to the east of Bristol and Bath, 30 to 40 minute drive possibly, which is very historical, maybe worth looking up online in case it's of interest.
Yeah,
I like historical stuff, so
Great.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
And we were thinking about stopping at Wells Cathedral on our way, which I was looking it up today, and the cathedral does not have guided tours right now, which makes a lot of sense because of the rule of 6 here in the UK for indoor places. But you can still enter and like go around. So we might stop in Wells too.
Yeah. All right. So Lori Sims, we left an Asian tourist in Kotor after waiting over an hour for him. And this was a day trip from Dubrovnik. Dang, that would.
Oh my gosh.
That would suck.
I hope he was okay.
Yeah, and Gareth is saying lamb is really common in Wales, or national meat. I think there are about 10 million sheep and 3 million people. Dang.
Yeah, there's a lot of sheep in Wales, that's for sure.
Eliz saw him try to get onto a train.
We saw a lot of sheep in Devon this week too.
Devon or Cornwall?
Devon is when we were driving through.
Okay, Gareth is saying, sorry, it's called Lecoq.
Wait, we definitely were looking into that. Yeah, no, that was in the guidebook.
Because, of course, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I was like, I remember I was reading that out loud to Derek and being like, ha, that's fun.
Chris Frank is saying, when I did an Italy tour, the buses were only between cities. Yeah. And buses between cities can be a really affordable way to do it. Yeah. We were actually looking on our honeymoon to do we were in South America doing like Argentina, Chile, and Uruguay, and we were looking at doing a bus tour, not a bus tour, but a bus from from Bariloche up to Mendoza. But it was like a 9-hour bus or something crazy like that. It would have been like an overnight bus. And we decided that our time was a little bit too precious back then. We had to, fly. So we ended up flying, which was way shorter, to fly from Bariloche up to Buenos Aires, then Buenos Aires to Mendoza. But we definitely looked into like those like big cross-country buses. And some of those buses are really cool. And if you're from the U.S., buses in Europe and like South America can actually be pretty nice with like true like lie flat seats and things like that. So it's not like the old Greyhound buses that, we might be used to.
Purdue says that their Blue Badge guide on tour was so informative, and that's a great. My understanding about the Blue Badge guides is that they're like the certified, like these people know their stuff, guides, and that can be an awesome choice. Really can create meaning to everywhere that you visit.
It's good. It's good to get the context and understanding.
And I'm
of what you're
such
doing.
a nerd, and I always want to know like what's the local industry, like what's the history.
What do people do here?
Yeah, like what do people do here? that's my annoying question that I always ask.
So
not that way.
So Eddie Sneaker Freak is saying Cotswolds. There's also a very nice Roman villa to visit at Chedworth. Nice. Yeah, so we have the English Heritage membership. We also have the, so we have English Heritage and we have National Trust. So we need to look those places up before we get there so that we can take advantage of those things.
Yeah.
So.
Eddie Sneaker Freak says Cotswolds also there's.
Said that. The Roman villa.
Oh yeah, sorry. You love Roman history.
Yeah, so one of my like top things I want to see in the UK. On our way up north is probably stopping at some part of Hadrian's Wall. I think that would be pretty cool. I kind of love that history and everything. I think it's pretty cool. I like Roman stuff, so that'd be neat to go see. Vega Bonnie says, "Have a great weekend, everyone. I'll try not to sleep in next week, but it's our time change next weekend in Canada, so I'll get an extra hour of sleep anyway."
Nice. Yay!
We actually do need to get going because we have dinner reservations. Here coming up.
Yep. But yes, so next week, next Sunday, definitely looking forward to talking to you then, Bonnie. We are, so this week, because for us here in the UK, the time changed last night.
Yep.
So we started at 3 p.m. in order to keep a consistency in time for all of you guys in North America. But we're going to go back to 4 p.m. British time next week.
Yep.
So 4 p.m. British time, same for all of you guys in Canada and the U.S., 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central.
Yep.
And we'll talk all about our trips to the Cotswolds and to Bath that will hopefully happen. And I guess by then we'll be in the Lake District, not Lakes, Lake, and we'll have some stuff to talk about that as well. Cool. So this has been...
And hopefully I won't be so short.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll have a real chair for Derek to sit on so he's not hunching. Anyway, this has been so fun.
And thank you again, everybody who gave us super chats. That was very, very nice of you. We really appreciate it. And thank you for everybody who came and joined the live stream. We really appreciate spending time with you guys.
Addie Sneaker Freak, Bonnie, Lori Sims, Purdue,
Mark Walters,
Fierce Mice, Mo, Thomas Reiser, Mark Walters, Eric Brown, Darian, Gallivanting Gals, even though a lot of those people left a while ago. You guys are all awesome. Our family members, thank you for joining. Thank you all so much. Elaine, Iggy, it's been super fun to have you all. Oh, and Elaine just said, Buford is close to Stow on the Wall. Okay, you guys are giving us some really good Cotswolds recommendations right now.
So we're
jotting them down for sure. So thank you all so much for your recommendations, for asking us really great questions. Tune into our videos that we're putting out this week, and we will be seeing you all next Sunday.
Yeah, look forward to a London travel vlog coming out in the next day or two.
Yep. And give it a like if you like it. All right, talk to you all soon.
Bye.
Bye.